Hello YouTube, it's another alien radio signal hunt tonight. Should we get ourselves, are we on the right one? We are on the right buttons there. Should we get ourselves alive across the board everywhere? Are we on that one? We are as well, so let's press these buttons. See if we can run two at once with this setup. So, yes guys, if you are joining us, we are doing another live alien radio signal hunt tonight. We are searching what is called the hydrogen line, and that is the channel on the radio dial where scientists theorize that if ET is out there, this is where they would put the message, hello, is anybody else out there? Just like the WOW signal from back in the 70s, but many more anomalous signals since there. So as the Earth rotates, our dish is going to sweep across the night sky, passing over various stars and their planets. Hopefully one of them, if we're lucky, will be sending us a signal which we can see nice and clearly on the screen. So what you're looking at now, this is a live radio meters basically coming in there, and we're monitoring, looking out for a spike, a clear technological signal there. Odran, how are you doing as well? My opinion is in. Baseman is in as well there. M to the C, good to see you, and thank you, My Opinion, for the gift. Appreciate that. All goes back into the stream. And TikTokers, if you wonder where we've been having computer issues. We're still having, but we should have a temporary setup now until all is repaired. So it is good to be back with all of you guys. I'll let us know what you've been up to. How is everyone's weekend going? But yes, we are going to be doing a live alien radio signal hunt tonight for as long as we can be bothered. So we're listening out there into deep space, hoping to hear one of these anomalous signals. Kate, yeah, we are slightly early. I was too eager. I couldn't wait to see you guys. How's your weekend going, Kate? Good to see you in. So yes, we are doing an alien radio signal hunt. So if you've seen the film Contact, or the recent Apple TV series Pluribus, or is it Cosmos as well, that's come out semi-recently there, I think that's on Prime. The Arrival with Charlie Sheen, all of those movies there are doing a similar sort of thing. It's a radio SETI there. Big dish, pointed up to the night sky, listening out for potential alien radio signals. Now, if we do get lucky, it'll only be on screen for between 30 to 90 seconds there. With the Earth's rotation at this sort of distance there, that is actually how long the dish will be on over and off the target. So we've got to keep our eyes peeled. But in the meantime, say hello, let us know where you're watching from, and also tell us your stories of the anomalous, or anything maybe it's come up in the news. I've been out of the UFO news lately. They're tricking us and all that. Got to keep you on your toes there, Kate. But it didn't work. You were in early there. Harko is in. How are you doing, dude? And I've been making the D-Day anniversary today. There, I'll be marking, the D-Day anniversary today. I used to be quite up on all of those sorts of things. You have some military vehicles, long time ago, and now. Shame about the weather there. Was you out and about? And Netherlands is on board. You're locking in there, Harko, and thank you for the gifts. Appreciate that, guys. It all goes back into the stream. Same with the likes and all of the shares. All that jazz does help us reach more and more like-minded people there, like yourselves. And more eyes and minds we get on the old phenomena, so the more we can all piece this puzzle together there. Your toes are swollen, and it ain't gonna happen. Wait a minute. What? Did you injure yourself, or is this related to the kidney stuff, Kate? That does not sound good there. On parade in the rain. Yeah, not good. Not good there. Oh. But at least it's worth a while there. Friend, how are you doing that over on the tubes? Good to see you. So guys, yeah, do say hello as you're coming in there. Denise as well. Good evening as well. I was hoping, you know, that we might have got a Skywatch in, but the weather was not in our favour. I think Monday's going to be our next opportunity for a Skywatch, and that is looking pretty good. And we're getting our mobile rig ready for the next run of clear skies, and we'll do an on-location with you guys. That's a different experience. See me getting very scared doing that. So yeah, we'll get there soon. We'll get there. Oh no, it's the kidney stuff there. Water retention. Oh god, Kate. It's never ending for you, is it? Poor thing. And Tori, back to I was going to say, Harko, how is she doing? How's she getting on there? And there, you're a bit off again, as always. Is it probably the delay, the sync? Oh no, there shouldn't be the synchronized delay on this one. Actually, let me check. One. I think there is a bit of a delay. Anyway. Right. And is my camera around the right way for once? It is, isn't it? Yeah. So look, yeah, it's actually around the correct way. It's not in reverse. Oh, well, this is the temporary setup at the second there. Our main streaming computer is down. Hopefully we might get that one back soon, though. And on the line. Actually, that's a good point. Yeah, my thing is ever so slightly off. At least we can still see it though, so I'm not going to bother moving it. But that's a very good point there. Which are not actually. It's ever so slightly, the yellow line is off, so it's ever so slightly to the right. It's actually closer to the red line. So that is the area that we do. I want to see the action. The radar is getting more and more complete. The radar just looks so cool, Harko. There, how are you doing, Carl, as well? Thank you for the gifts. How are you and Donna doing? It means that the poster is backwards now. Luckily, we've got the spare, Kate. In fact, I should be able to easy enough. I've just got to figure this out. Let me. Is it around the right way on both of them? Is it letting me do this? That one. Can I, if I unlock it, can I rotate it? There we go. Right, there we go. That'll do for now. Is it like that way on the tubes? No, it's around the. Yeah, it's around the wrong but correct way over there. United, no worries, United. It's always good to see you, but you never have to worry about not being in. You're welcome to dip in and out there. Sometimes life has a better offer. How have you been, though, United? Been up to anything interesting there? When both are working fine there, one will pop onto the door. I'll be looking forward to that one, Harko. And yeah, that's Harko's building basically this little, it looks like an old school radar where you can actually see all of the local planes flying over in your area. Very, very clever little dashboard item there that will mean that at a glance we can quickly see if there's a plane in a local area, what direction it is in, and also you know, what that plane's details are, which is pretty cool. And we have to thank Harko as well, because a while back you'd made us our little ping checker, so it shows us the state of our network speeds and stuff. When that flashes red, we know that the issues are us and not TikTok for once there. Very technical. I'm glad to hear it, Carl. We're good. We're all good there. It's the weekend. We can't complain. I can. I'm good. And not up to much about you. So United, I'm just swearing. Having a few technical issues at the minute, so I've got to have something to complain about, haven't I, there? And that's the ping device. It still works. It's flashing away right next to us. It works very, very well, Harko. I've been looking for years for a device like that, and you answered my prayers. So, guys, if you're just joining us tonight, oh, Pink Floyd, thank you for the gifts there as well. I said appreciate those guys. All go straight back into the stream there, including gifts, members, super chats, all that jazz, all helping us improve what we do. We still have some improvements on the horizon. Just need to get the streaming computer sorted now, and then we can launch some of the new things there as well. But look, hey, look, Signal Hunter t-shirt. There you go, you can get those as well, link in bio. Where are we for that one? And as well, yeah, no, I think we're actually up to date for once. There we go, look, we're keeping up with the chat by the looks of it. Or is that box a little bit too short, maybe? Let's have a look. Why is that jumping ahead on me there? Let me just try and tackle this. Stop. No, that'll do. I'll just leave that there. I'll leave it like it is. I won't try and mess around with these things. Anyway, guys, we are doing a live we're doing a live alien radio signal hunt. We are searching what is called the hydrogen line, the channel on the radio dial where scientists theorize that if ET's out there, this is where he's most likely to leave the message. Hello, is anybody else out there? So we are specifically listening for this high-powered radio signal sent from a distant civilization out there into space, not necessarily knowing if there is anybody out there to listen to it or where they may be. And that is why they think they would choose radio. It's very efficient and very accessible technology. They have all of the possible mediums there, but it's also why we think they would choose this channel. Out of all of the different channels on the dial, this is the reason we'd think that they're going to use this one, because it's always going to be monitored for science, because it gives radio astronomers there a really good baseline to measure the universe from. There'll always be eyes and ears on this frequency, even if you don't use radio for communications, and therefore you're going to have a higher chance of people monitoring this frequency and therefore noticing your hello message there. It's because I snuck in early, Kate. It'll speed up. It always does. It always does. There, and Jolly, how are you doing? Even from the Midlands, landlocked. Jolly, good to see you. How have you been there? And Dan is in as well. How are you doing? I forgot to say, I got the sample through, so I think we can make these available in the shop if they're not already. But it's our first draft of our UFO Hunters logbook there. We are working on the second draft where there's some stuff on the inside as well, not just a notebook. But there we go. Look, got a version of that. Keep all of your sightings logged in a very official manner. We'll have to put that one to good use there as well, as it all goes back into the streamer there, helping us improve what we are doing there. Yeah, very excited for our next on-location one. Hopefully the rig's going to be a little bit better there and improving the quality of what you guys get to see of the night sky when we are on a location. If I can keep Pete motivated, we might be able to do it a few more times and pick some interesting other locations too there. I have to use it and note down every time Polholio appears. You know what, Kat? That'd probably be a very good use for the damn book, actually. That would be a very good use for it. Maybe I will take you up on that one there. How are we doing, Wayne, as well? Good to see you there. And Shepsy is in. I see you there over on the TikToks. How's Bobby tonight? So, guys, I see the hearts as well coming in. All of the likes, the shares, the tapping away, all of that jazz does help us reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves. You never know who's going to come in and what experience with the phenomena they are all going to share. So we really do appreciate that one, because that is the thing for me that has changed my opinion on the phenomena the most there. The fact that just the range and amount of experiences that you guys have. I really thought it was still quite a rare one. But whatever is going on is nowhere near as rare as the mainstream would lead you to believe. In fact, it's actually starting to look very reflective, isn't it, of the of what the media coverage is starting to be like there. Always it might be a bit lower than normal. I have no idea, because it's the new setup. I haven't got an idea of how to do that one. Let's have a look, see if I can see it there. Oh, no, wrong buttons. Come on, let's have a look. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, I think that one is up full. I'll have to have a play around for those ones. But we are on the new temporary setup at the second for streaming, so it's going to be a little bit funky. And how you doing, Shan? Oh, you got it. What's up? And are the sun and the moon within the Earth system there below the Kármán line? So not what we would expect, not by the mainstream explanation, but I suspect you might say it might be different. There, Polholio is stumpy right now. We are getting that signal. You are not wrong, Kate. Yeah, we are getting a little bit of a ridge here. And I can kind of see one coming over down here as well. Now, over on the TikTok, you should still be able to see this ridge off here to the right. And this top section is showing all those live radio signals coming in across all the different channels. In fact, that one is actually closer to the hydrogen line itself. Which is actually then, ignore the yellow, it's this one that we want to see that line on. But yes, it is, yeah, we are getting signal. Now, it's been there a long time. It's been there since we turned the equipment on, so it's likely to be electronic interference that's been with us the whole time. But keep an eye, as more stars come in range, then it'd be interesting if there's a correlation at play there. And Bobby is good, and he loves watching the streams. But it blows his Victorian mind there, Shepsy. And for anyone curious, Bobby is the ghost of a Victorian orphan from a workhouse that haunts Lamorgues' house, who's in the chat there on TikTok. I could have a stream passport holder as well. Ah, actually, Carl, I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that there. Little wallet. Yes, exactly. That's not a bad shout, actually. I'm going to look for those. I wonder if are our passports actual passport size or close enough? That's a good idea. You're giving me more ideas. Yeah, it's low, and the advert has just come in, blew your ears. Oh, they're so Wayne. So, yeah, YouTube's is weird. It doesn't normalize its adverts. Normally, platforms will normalize certain audio there, so, you know, your actual content is similar to the thing there. So, the adverts are always a pain on the tubes. But the good chance that we are a little bit lower with the output. I'll have to tweak the settings, so thank you for the heads up there. And friend, got you on the projector this evening with a small glass of wine. Very civilized, friend. And it's not small. It's the bucket. You've got the keg. Or cask, is it for wine? Very civilized. I like that. I do like seeing on the control. What you'll have to do, friend, is you're going to have to get a second projector, right? Because actually on our website, so we've got the sensor dashboard that you'll be able to access there. And you basically just got all of the, like the stuff that we've got going on around the screen there, the solar wind speed, geomagnetic index, all of that other stuff. It's like that, but you'll be able to project that on a second wall and have all of the data in line with this. And I'm thinking, can we do our own, get the data from flight radar and just show all of the local planes in the air as well, do like a radar screen? So like, it would be like the film War Games, right? You'll have us center, you have data one side, planes the other. It can be full on mission control there, friend. You'll be taking over the living room. And yeah, have wine with this. You cannot have wine. I think you have to. I think it's a glass per projector, friend. I think that is the rules. I like it. Anyway, guys, we are doing a live alien radio signal hunt tonight, and we are searching what is fondly known as the hydrogen line. That is the name for this channel on the radio dial, where scientists theorize that if ET's out there, this is where they would put the message. Hello, is anybody else out there? It's where the wow signal is heard, but a number of anomalous signals over the years as well have been detected here, and that's what we want to see tonight. As the Earth rotates, our dish is going to sweep across the night sky there, passing over various stars and their planets in orbit, and if we're lucky, one of those will have life, and they'll be choosing to send a signal just as we're passing over it, and we can catch it here on the old meters. The more we do this, the more our statistical chances do increase, and we're not targeting specific stars. We're not going, oh, we're going to do Alpha Centauri this week, we're going to do Vega the next week, or anything like that. We are, because our dish is fixed, we actually end up checking, you know, a really nice overlap of the same part of sky, and that really helps our statistical odds, because, you know, again, right place, right time. If you're always changing your location, your odds drop. It's much harder to get it at the right place at the right time. But for us, where we're sweeping, we're going with the movement, the seasonal movement of the stars, and therefore, as we're on at similar times, then we can catch in. So let's check the same stars for nights and nights in a row there, increasing those odds of a detection. We haven't had anything just yet, but that does not mean our luck is not going to be in. Again, it's not the sort of thing where you're going to see a build-up and then, da-da, this is going to be it's there for 30 to 90 seconds, and then it's not, and we'll be unlikely to capture it again. I mean, God, we'd be pointing that disc straight back at it if we did, but again, it's going to be only there for that short period of time. So, in the meantime, as we're waiting for those signals to hopefully come in there, let us know, A, where you're watching from, how you're all doing there. Do say hello, especially if you're new, but also let us know how you feel about the phenomena. If you've had an experience, maybe there's something in the news there we do want to hear from it all there. I'm a bit behind on the UFO news lately, so I fill me in. It's been that long since we've done the signal hunt on the TikTok. I can remember, you can't remember the hashtags. It's muscle memory. Start typing, Kate, it'll come back out. It'll click. How you doing, DJ? Good to see you there. Auto post. What's that? I'll turn that one off. You got to let us know, TikTokers, as well, if that new auto bleeping feature kicks off, and tell us what. Can we guess on what TikTok is going to bleep me for? And exactly, friend. The more projectors, the more wine. And that's on a per half an hour basis as well. So you know you have to top up. He does it. I type on rubbish and gets posted. We've been warned. It's all good. Disappointing that there wasn't a third release of the Files Day. Oh, friend, that didn't sit well with me, not having that one, missing that one there. Just, they were doing so well, that regular rhythm, how they were treating it, but yeah, not having that one in a row. But we are informed by reliable sources there that it is still planned. They're just still putting it together, and if it's a bit late, I can forgive that, just as long as it's not months, you know. I want to see that cadence. For me, it's going to be the process. So as long as the process is still in motion, there's still the chance of delivery. We can still hopefully at some point see the old Roswell bodies. I actually caught a really brief video. I should have shared it on our own bloody Discord, but I didn't. But if I can find it again, I will post it over there. But there's a lot of people that get the Roswell crash location wrong. You know, over the years it's been said to have been one part, then to the other part, then down the road. So there's a lot of arguments around it, but apparently, you know, there is a real location, and you can do the work and you can figure out where it is. And I was watching a chap. I don't think it's his normal thing at all. He's more of an overland adventure sort of guy, but he was just going through the area. So he's right, I'm going to go out to the desert in my big truck, and we're going to go find it. And it was very interesting, and I did think he had possibly had the right one. A couple of the geographical features there that I've heard about, but again, I'm not an expert. But what was really interesting with that is that, you know, it's pretty goddamn flat out there. Like, really, really, really flat. And where it's meant to have happened, there is a little bit of a crater, like a noticeable crater, which is very different from the surrounding landscapes. It does stick out, or stick down, however you want to word it there. And when the guy basically says, you know, look, actually, what is, he used some sort of tool, some sort of calculator online, you know, of like the size of an object versus, you know, how much of a dent in the ground it's going to make. It kind of fit. Now, I don't know, I'm sure mass is probably more appropriate there than size, but I mean, you know, it actually fit, you know, the predicted size of what the crater would be. It aligned up pretty well, and it was absolutely amazing to think that there is just that small you know, dip in the ground may still be left from one of the most fantastic, you know, thing that kicked off the modern UFO era. It is definitely on our bucket list to do a live stream from that little crater there. So definitely. The momentum was so good. It really was, friends. So hopefully they will get back on track there. DJ as well, thank you for the gifts. Appreciate those guys. All the gifts, subs, members, patrons, all that jazz does go back into the stream there, helping us improve on what we are doing. And where are we down there? First, middle, and last. Test the bleep and pretend you caught something. Ah, fucking hell. There we go. Sorry, I didn't even mean to do that one, Kate, but it slipped out there. I'll just wait until Raf comes in, and then I'll just read out Raf's hello, welcome comment, and I'm sure that will get heavily bleeped there. I might get another hate speech warning. DJ, there's been a lot more of UFO videos lately. Are we on the verge of first contact? DJ, it really does feel like it's building up to something. It really, really does feel like we are in the territory for the first time there. Like, there's been the slow incremental pushes over the years. I mean, 2017 was a good time there. I mean, back in the 80s with the Bob Lazar stuff, there's been little pushes have been made at various points, but it feels very different now. It feels much faster. It feels like, you know, the ship's rolling now. Gravity's going work, and the momentum of it is going. I feel there. Well, that didn't work, Kate. Yeah, well, you know, it always filters us out for the things that aren't actually what it thinks it is, and all the bad stuff we do gets let through very weirdly. I'm seeing the hearts pop up there, especially over on the tubes. Thank you for those guys. The likes, the shares, all of that jazz. It really does help us reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves there. And I say, the more eyes and minds we get on the old phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together. In fact, I said it is you guys coming in, sharing your experiences with the phenomena that really, really blows my mind there. Hearing the stories that you wouldn't have heard otherwise. I do think it is one of the most interesting things. But hopefully, yeah, we should get another drop soon. And if we're lucky tonight, we might get one of those signals in. But whilst we're waiting, do say hello. Let us know where you're all watching from tonight there and ask away. Any questions you might have, maybe it's what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we're doing it, or something you've seen in the news, or you've had a UFO, UAP experience yourself. Something to do with the aliens there. Kate as well coming in with the shares. Thank you for that. So yeah, this is what we are doing tonight. We're listening out on what is known as the hydrogen line. So this is, as I say, it's called the hydrogen line because hydrogen naturally emits a radio signal. And that is the most abundant element in our galaxy, so therefore it's a consistency, it's something that scientists can measure from. It's a baseline. It tells them, basically, when they're getting all these other signals coming in there, about the universe and about what is going on. So it's very important for them, and because they're monitoring it for those baseline purposes there's always somebody monitoring at this frequency. You're going to have the highest chance of people receiving your message if you're sending it out there on this channel. And over the years, we have heard a number of anomalous signals are right here. So my new favorite, obviously the WOW signal, that gets the attention, and rightly so. It's a really, really interesting signal. But the Ross 128 signal is also another. I think they labelled that one the weird signal, kind of like a sibling of it. But that was, I think, it actually did come from the SETI at home data, I believe, there. But Ross 128 is a red dwarf star that is about 11 or so light years from us there, and we do believe we have detected 2 super Earths in orbit, so much greater mass and size than our Earth, but they think, you know, sort of rocky planets with atmospheres anyway, in orbit of Ross 128 there. So maybe that is a source for these signals, but it was actually a couple of signals, I do believe, there. Now, obviously, they need that second detection to call it aliens, you know, 100% slam dunk, but this thing, it did 2 signals, but it was recorded on the same set of data, so they weren't able to get a second dish to confirm it, which is really, really frustrating there. But very interesting, multiple signals potentially from the same star there. Again, what's interesting about that is I'm not quite sure on the delay between the signals. I don't think it was seconds. I do think it was a reasonable-ish delay there, not days, but that probably means as well then that it's not a satellite, because you imagine a satellite's going to pass in front of a dish, you know, and that's quite, you know, we've seen what they're like in our sky watches. We've seen how fast that they roll, and yeah, you know, it's unlikely to be a satellite causing that. And it only really then leaves them with electronic interference as their cop-out excuse for what it could be there. The sheep, pigs and cows are away. You can put your tractor in the barn, Liberty, from your manor estate, and be clay pigeon shooting tomorrow on it. and you can rest up for an evening of Skywatch. How are you doing, Liberty, there? And DJ coming in with the extra gifts. Oh, and Kate as well, feeding Alan.
Nom nom nom, thanks, guys.
Oh, Alan was wasting away there, so he appreciates that. Did you read my link about the TB 36-day signal from a planet? No. Let's have a look. I haven't been exactly massively active at the second on Discord. Let's have a look. In fact, it's not even on my open apps. Right. What's... right, where's it? I see under interesting things. Let's have a look. Where was that one? Oh, good supernova there. Oh wow, the radar. That looks much better. The screen of that radar, Harker, looks better than the ones I've seen online. Have you adapted that? Periodic radio and X-ray emissions from an accelerating white dwarf binary. Very cool. Where was this? Oh, friend. I've just seen the post there of your projector. Very cool. Although the title of that post, 100 Inches of Sam, is going to be my tagline. I like that. Oh, that's hilarious. I like that one. Harker's right. It does, doesn't it, friend? It really, really does look cool. I was thinking, can we get like a version of that screen online? So we can have that up there. I can't find that one at the second. Was it that post? Was it the White Dwarfs, Harko? Was that the one? I'm glad to hear you're all good, Liberty. Have you got any interesting projects you've been toying with today? I have been spending most of my day looking at the YOLO boxes that I can't afford. But definitely might stretch the old card for those. Very cool little bits of kit there. Rich, how are we doing? Good to see you in. And too many messages. There's quite a few, and also I've just been lazy. I've just been lazy. Where I was so in my stress with the computer last week, being very ungracious. But like, people have actual real world problems, and the amount I let that computer get to me last week was a little bit silly. I was just in that mode, and now I've got to catch up with the backlog of everything, including work. I think tomorrow I'm going to be playing catch up with work. There. Did you get the pic? Oh, let's have a look. Oh, I think I saw the initial skate. Yeah, they're 5 months in. Oh, that is awesome. Not long to go now, DJ. That is so cool. It's a bit of good news there. Man. What are you saying there? What are you saying there, Kate? Harker's right. It does look really, really cool, doesn't it? So right, where are we? I think we're up to date with those ones. So guys, if you're joining us, we are doing, as I said, our live alien radio signal hunt tonight. There we are hunting on the hydrogen line, the channel on the dial where scientists do think that ET is most likely to leave us that message, but where a number of anomalous ones have been heard before there, including the WOW signal. But as we were just talking about, the Ross 128 signal, very interesting. What was there was another bloody interesting one that I keep forgetting as well. What was that? So there's one that's technically been written off, and it's a signal. It's not on the hydrogen line actually, but it's the BLC-1 signal there. So you've all heard of SETI, which is, again, it's an academic but private organisation. They're the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. They're the main ones that have been doing this search. But there's recently been like a private funded one by millionaires called Breakthrough Listen there, and they detected a signal a few years back, and it was their Breakthrough Listen Candidate 1, their first signal, and they released it and announced it kind of as a test. This is the sort of thing that we're getting, but they officially did say, look, it's electronic interference. We're pretty sure it's just interference, but you know. But the rumour is that that is not the case at all. The rumour is that is what they've said, mainly because they haven't got enough extra follow-up data with it just yet. But yeah, there are lots of people there that do think that was a real signal, a real active signal, and I really do think, when I've looked at some of that contextual information there, that there could be something to it there. But what's really, really interesting, and why also it's not on the hydrogen line, is that apparently it appears to be coming from Proxima Centauri, which is our closest neighbour there as well, and that is why we may be potentially picking up their passive, or not very passive, but the, you know, not what we're listening out for tonight, the targeted hello, is anybody else out there message. No, this one might just be their radar, their television signals, all of that sort of bypass stuff there. So we may be picking up on that because they're so close by, which is absolutely fascinating. And apparently, yeah, it's on. Like, you can pick this signal up quite regularly. We do not have a big enough dish for that one, sadly, but apparently, yeah, you can just pick it up, and the rumor is that it's active. Again, it's our closest still neighbor. But what's really interesting is recently that they have, well, they know of 2 rocky planets, I think, around Proxima Centauri, at least 2. One of them at least is super Earth, but they've got very, very strong magnetic fields. Apparently, this was news out like a week or so ago, that yeah, they do think that those planets have got incredibly strong magnetic fields, again, that can protect the atmosphere and a higher then chance for life. It's not a slam dunk, but so far, again, we're getting this new technology, this new equipment in, and then we're able to get more and more interesting data, and it does point to the fact that the universe is alive. Now, we can't just hop on a bus and go to Proxima Centauri at about 4.2 light years, 4.6 light years, something like that. That is say it's 4.6 light years. It's 4.6 years for light to travel. That is the fastest thing that can go there. So if we were picking up a radio signal, if it did come through just now from Proxima Centauri, and we're not pointing in that direction, sadly, but if we were, and we did get a signal in, that means that signal left, 4.6 years ago. So to have a two-way, hello, how you doing, hello, conversation, that would be, what, 9.2 years or something like that, doing the maths there. Hello, 4.6 years, and then hello back, there. But we are actually looking as a species at how to send probes there. And with conventional propulsion, it's going to take a hell of a long time, but it might be something that's possible within our lifetime there. Hey, the YOLO Live Ultra is the way forward there. I've been chilling, watching F1 and motor. Oh, it does look cool. I know, but I'll be getting one of the cheap second-hand mini ones. That's the closest I can get. But they do, even that, like the features on it just looked absolutely amazing. And hello and welcome all in. Thank you, DJ. And again, welcome, guys. If you are new here, do say hello. Let us know where you all are watching from tonight there. I'd love to hear from you all. Let's see how you feel about the phenomena. A space bus. I'm getting fake taxi vibes from that. And a Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica was there. Ask us up. I did love it's not even recent now, is it? It's now, what, like 15 years old, or probably older now, the remake of Battlestar. That is one I do need to rewatch. Let's see if that's available somewhere. How are we doing, Marcus? Good to see you there. No, yeah, not for me. I'm not allowed, DJ. My younger days. Something Alan will start up on. That's why he's escaped here on Earth, Kate. He's hiding. He's got a reputation there. But guys, if you are, joining us live, we are doing a live alien radio signal hunt. We are searching what is called the hydrogen line, the channel on the radio dial, those lines down the middle of the screen, where scientists theorize that if ET's out there, this is where they'd put the hello, is anybody else out there message. And a number of anomalous signals have been detected on this frequency throughout the years. Very, very interesting candidate signals. You've probably heard of the WOW signal. That is quite a common one. That was the late 70s, I think, but funnily enough, the more technology that we are getting as a species, the more advanced it is, the more sensitive it is, and the more signals we are getting that we just cannot say where they're coming from. Now, they do look suspiciously like technological signals not coming from this Earth, but without a second detection of the same signal, science cannot say for sure. But it does get to the point now where we're getting so many of these anomalous detections, and there are all sorts of other detections for life as well now, that it looks like the universe is alive. And that can be a very scary thing, but it can be a cool thing. I mean, look, if we've not been invaded yet and it's been alive this whole time, we're probably going to be all right. But I do think it's going to be far more exciting than we have ever considered it to be there. Carl and Kate as well there, and Marcus, thank you for the gifts, appreciate those, guys. So it all goes back into the stream, and Carl as well.
Nom nom nom, thanks,
feeding
guys.
Alan there. Cylons are on the Cylons are on the way. At some point, we're going to have to face the fact that Alan is just your alternate personality. Kate, shh. I'm expressing myself through puppet form. Is it puppet therapy? Isn't that a thing? Oh, should we get one of those felt puppets, but for Alan? and we can voice him. I've not put my hand up Alan's arse though. That's a very that's the Patreon exclusive there. You're breaking the magic. Excuse me. You tell I'm off my game, aren't you? It's been a few days, but glad we are back tonight across all platforms. And hopefully there is good news. There are signs of life with the computer. Hopefully I can pick it up and test it for a bit from Monday. So that, yeah, there should be a chance that we can. I was going to say, yeah. I mean, Alan might enjoy that, but yeah, hopefully there's signs of life from the computer, then we can test it, and we'll be all back and rolling to normal. We can get back into rhythm and routine. But I've forgotten everything I normally say, guys. You'll have to forgive me for this one as we warm ourselves back up into doing our signal hunts and stuff, hoping for a Skywatch very, very soon. I think Monday is the closest one on our calendar, so if you've not seen one of those guys, make sure you're subscribed, following whatever it is, wherever you are, because when it's a clear sky, we do a UFO, a UAP, a Skywatch there, and we're coming to you live from the heart of Crop Circle Country and just down the road from Stonehenge here in the UK. Lots of activity in these skies, so those Skywatches are pretty cool, but obviously weather dependent, and this is what we do when those clouds roll in, or they can't decide, kind of like tonight. To join the Only Alan's account. That, yes, I'd forgotten about that one there. We are doing a live signal hunt now. Join the Discord. There is a link as well, so for that one. So guys, if you do want to hang out with us there, if you want to share your experience or read through some that our community have already shared, then yeah, do join us over on the Discord. There should be a link in bio for that. Really good. Lots of all the latest UFO news and all that jazz. So yeah, definitely worth checking in there, which I should take my own advice and actually catch up there. B2 Harco. Wrong stream. We've not got the grid on tonight. Very good. But yeah, what you're looking at now, guys, so this is called SDR, Software Defined Radio. So not like back in the day, you know, we'd have your old physical radio as a box. It's the future now. We can plug it in via USB. This is exactly what we're doing. We've got a big dish outside, comes in, gets filtered, amplified, some of that jazz come in, and then comes into the computer via USB. And then, where's my cursor? Here it is. So this is the actual main radio receiver part itself across the top here. Now these are all the live signals coming in. Each one of these is a different channel. So you know, you talk about, you know, what's radio 1 was 98.8. Well, look, we're down at 1.4 here. So, you know, right the way down the low end of the channel. But essentially, these are down the dial there. But essentially, it's the same sort of thing, but yet digital. So we can scroll really long distances there. But we're right the way down here on the hydrogen line, where we would expect ET to be saying hello. But yeah, these are the live signals spiking through, coming in across all of these different channels. We're interested, it's not actually where the yellow line is, need to adapt it. It's actually here. But it might, in all of the mishap there, it's moved one block over. So this is actually the hydrogen line, I think, there. But this box here, now this is the same as above there, but it looks cool because it's green. But it's also taking all of those live dynamic spikes and compressing them down to averages there. So what you can see is more of this pattern, these trends, this undulation there. And that undulation, that is that natural background noise, the cosmic microwave background there. And two cursors? There's not two cursors, is there? It's your eyes, Kate. You're too close to the screen. For once, I don't think there is two cursors. No, maybe. But yes, this is the same data there. But yeah, look, this cosmic microwave background here, the background noise, the noise floor, as you can tell, it's all very organic. Oh, that's a little emoji that... Oh, look, there is there. Look, there is on the top bit. I'll take it back, Kate. Why is there? Very strange. Probably something I've done wrong. But yeah, so this is you can see this little ridge here looks very out of place, doesn't it? You can also start to see, I don't know, over on the tubes you might be able to see this. TikTokers probably can't. Yeah, no, it's a bit too off the side, but there's another slight one down there. So the fact they work on averages helps us to identify patterns that we wouldn't normally be able to see otherwise. There, and that red box that pops up every now and again, that is the micro signal analysis there. So it's looking at this background noise here and going, right, is there any signs there may be a faint signal getting lost, getting drowned out in all of that? Nothing found so far, but again, more if you are over on the tube, sorry. So TikTokers, you're getting like the very middle of the screens. Go check us out in the tubes. That the thing, UFO. You can see far more data over on the tubes there. You're just getting the middle part. And behind me, is this is the star map, or the sky map here, and it shows you where our dish is pointing or what close by stars are in range, are in that catchment area. Now it's the one I can't pronounce there, but we call it Zune, even though it's definitely not how it is pronounced there. There's a B in there, but we're calling it that one. It's 77 light years away, so as the night moves on, you see these stars ever so slowly move across there and coming in a range of our dish. To the right middle, again, you won't be able to see this on TikTok there, but it's got the information on Zune. So it says 77 light years away. We don't know of any exoplanets in orbit there. That's a planet. Any planet that is out of our solar system is an exoplanet. So we don't know everything in that one, but we can estimate how long it would, or how much power would be required for a signal from that star to reach us here, and us to still be able to detect it there. And the estimation is 66.69 gigawatts. That's a lot of power, guys. That is a lot of power there. But then all the way over on the middle left here is the actual waveform analysis there. So the sound that you're hearing. And if I shut up, it's that sound right there. That is, as I said earlier, the cosmic microwave background. It's that wiggly line that we're seeing there. And as you can see, the red line, it is jumping, but it's not how the green line is. This is basically what the wow signal looked like. So we want the red line to look like the green line there. So that's basically how it all works. There's some other little bits of information here, there, and everywhere. But yeah, that is what we're looking for. We want to see a nice ridge, you know, around the line there. Where are we in the chat there? I just thought I was having a moment, then that was me having a moment there. USB free spike is still there at 1.4. It is very much there tonight. And again, that's a good point, is that the reason we're not getting excited by that little ridge that we highlighted is because it's been there the whole stream. Now, with the Earth's rotation, our dish is only going to be pointing over a target planet for between 30 to 90 seconds. That's only how long we'd see that signal for there. So the fact that it's been with us the whole time implies that the source of that is with us physically here at the source of the equipment there. How are we doing, Sean? We are supposed to be going to Aquarius to Pieces tonight. What's that one? There. Wonder what I was missing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're not seeing it, Kate. Yeah. So you're over on the TikToks there. It's the tubers. We'll get access to all it there. We can only hope for a spike. Exactly, Sean. Exactly. Good to see you in. How are you doing this weekend? That is what we're waiting for. Again, it's right place, right time. But the more we do it, the more our statistical odds do increase of getting a detection there. But it isn't going to be every night. These are quite rare, but they're getting less rare. It's actually starting to look like the galaxy is bloody alive with life. Hey up, you're in. How are you doing there? What have I missed? We've missed 2 signals. They asked where you were. No, you're all right. You're not missing anything there. And have you smashed the like button? Thank you, up there, for the super chat. Appreciate that, guys. All the gift subs, super chats, all that jazz does go back into the stream there as well. So thank you, up. And yeah, we do appreciate the likes and the shares as well, because that is how we meet you guys. That is how you guys come in. You share your accounts of the phenomena, and that is my favourite part about this, is hearing all of your individual experiences and theories as well, and your knowledge around the subject too. That is the thing that's changed my mind the most, hearing those individual accounts. Can I just clean that bit of dust off? There we go. How are we doing that? Oh, Marcus, you're over on the tubes too there. And here, there's more information to see. Honestly, guys, if you're on the TikTok, just at least have a look over on the tubes there at the Thing UFO. Far more information and data coming in live. And as well, remember, guys, especially if you're on our Patreon there, you should also have access to our signals dashboard on the new website, which is thethinguFO.live, where you get all these little boxes that I've got around me. So what's that one? The solar flare index there, solar wind speed, geomagnetic index, all of that data is basically available. But loads, I think there's about 14 different data boxes monitoring all the stuff that's contextually interesting. You can monitor all of that and have them as little pop-outs. It's all very cool there. Oh, the fish is there. Also, no, the sound. We don't have the white noise. You don't have the white noise sound. Hold on. Let's just check something, because TikTok does auto filter out a lot of stuff. Let me. Yeah, it's not coming through, is it? Let me see if I can fix that for you guys. Audio effects, is it under that? Because I did turn all of these weird things off. No, we don't want that. We want audio general settings. Noise suppression is off. Echo cancellation is off. So it should be coming through. Very weird. That one doesn't need to come through. Let's put the music back on there. That is weird. We had this issue before, didn't we? With TikTok not picking up the bloody signal. Oh, what a platform, guys. They found us there. Nothing matters there when everything is a lie there. What a shame we've become. I think, look, there's a lot of points to that, you know, that, yeah, there's a lot of lies going on. It is a lot of shame how things may be. But I do still think overall we are on a journey in the right direction there. I hear it now, just really loud. Wait, it's gone again. What? That is so weird. It is so weird there. Now, sure, what I'm supposed to be hearing to hear it anymore. So you probably can't hear it over the tube, but it is the sound of the signal coming through behind our music. So it's kind of a it's a static you used to get on your TV there. Right, let me get back over to the tubes there. You can't hear it on the tubes either. Is it just because it's quiet? Hold on. Can you hear the music? How about there? Is that better? Can you hear that? Is it just a volume thing? If I turn the music down. Where are we there as well? And Carl is in. How are you doing, Carl? Over on the tubes. And, oh, Marcus became a Skywatcher. Thank you there, Marcus. Hey, you'll be able to join us for our deep dives, but over on the tubes. They do look pretty cool over there as well. So thank you for that. You should have the stickers as well. Yeah, does that come through there? Well, it's a... you know, the music is there, but that's very weird. Very weird indeed. Strange. Ah, there should be for the members over there. I don't know. I think they call them custom emojis over on the tubes there. Oh, why is the SWR so low? So we are on a dodgy setup at the second. That's the problem. We are bodging things through. We've had a computer issue, so all of the settings are gone, and we're just limping back. It's back now, is it? That is this. How are we doing there? I'm back, and I went on holiday for a week in Portugal. Perfect timing is this, because we had a computer failure, so we've only just come back on ourselves. How was Portugal? Good to see you there. Marcus there, I can hear you okay on the tubes. Okay, so that works. And Tomcat, how are we doing there? Oh, and you can hear it just fine. Perfect there, Mayor, as well. So why is it issues for some people? But thank you for checking in on those ones. Where are we? Let's have a look. I found the stickers there, Marcus. How are we doing? Ham, how are we doing? And I can hear and the music there, but no signal. I wonder why it's different. Very weird. We've got it up a bit loud. I might turn it down a touch. I thought I saw another message from Mayor there, but I can't see it. Or is it maybe just my eyes playing up? How is everyone doing, though? Where are we? Over on the TikTok there. Astro there, do you use IF averagings? No, not at the moment, there, Stargazer. I don't think we do anyway. It's been so long. I'll have to check. I barely know where the on button is. And the new Linkin Park concert in Germany was lit there. So I was a big fan of old school Linkin Park. Big fan. Been a long time since I've been to any gig though. And is this? And it was good. I went to a small island, so it was lovely, and saw the Milky Way. Oh, now that is awesome to see that with your own eyes out in the night sky there. And Tick, thank you for the gifts. Appreciate that. Always go back into the stream there. And TikTok, good to see you. And how are you doing? It's been a while since we've been on, so apologies we've been off, guys. So we had technical issues, which we still have, hence why things are a little bit different and a little bit janky tonight. Hopefully we'll get there pretty soon there. Oh, Astro, keep it up there. Good, thank you for popping by. We'll hope to see you soon for that one there, but keep it up. Where are we in there? Grandmaster, good to see you in there. Andrew as well there. No SD, you're not getting the SDR sound as well. How is that not coming through? Let me just do a quick test on something. Where is the... Yep, I can confirm you're not going crazy. We are having trouble getting that sound out of there. There'll be something to it. Which one's it coming through? Is it? Yeah, it's that one. Maybe there's Come on. Press the bloody button. Okay, it won't press the button. Yeah, I'll have to problem solve that one. A later date then. You can just hear the mic. Can you hear the music as well? That should come through. Where are we in there as well? But thank you for checking in with that one. Yeah, well, you're not missing much. It kind of sounds like the static on your TV, so it's only cool if we actually get the signal coming in there. We'll have to figure what's going on with that and then. And doing now, are we hunting for our own WoW signal? Grandmaster, 100%. That is what we are doing tonight there. We want our very own WoW signal. So as the Earth rotates, our dish is going to sweep across the night sky there, passing over various stars. And hopefully one of those stars is going to have a civilization that is sending us a message. If so, nice and clearly, if we're lucky, on some of the meters. Oh, turn my own voice down there, getting a bit of feedback there. But yeah, we should see it nice and clearly on the screen. So yeah, we're listening out for anomalous radio signals that may well be from extraterrestrials. This is called the hydrogen line, and it is the channel on the dial where scientists theorize we are most likely to hear those messages. It is where the old WoW signal was heard. Right, let's have a look. Where did we get to? We did say hello to Private Tomcat as well. Loving the he found the stickers on that one there, and any Bob Ross stickers. Oh, is that one not on there? That one should be on there, the Bob Ross alien probing one. And let's go. Not at all there. Thank you for checking in there, Andrew. There missing my yeah. Where is Zen? I hope Zen's okay. Where are we? There, Gaza as well. Good evening. How are you doing? Video I sent you on Congress. It's free. It's yeah, I've heard about this. This is, you know, that's old Grush as well, and he's a very, very good player in all this. Very, very credible. They're, you know, trying to push for more releases, which again, it's all power for the cause, isn't it? There. So where's it going to go? There. Hello as well. Good evening there. And today was very odd. There, my daily AI agent said that there is no solar weather, no geomagnetic spikes, and no nothing today. May explain your issues. The correlation. What's our data boxes saying? Where's our main one coming in? Let's have a look down there. It's looking reasonably average, I think, across the board there. But it did say solar flare alert is quite high, so maybe there's that sort of solar activity. It's looking for the correlations, isn't it? There in our experiences, in our evidence versus the wider solar system, and what may be going on. Let's have a look. Let's go down. Where do we get to? There. Oh, Madeira there, if you've heard of that. I've heard of it. I've never had the luxury of going there, but it does sound very exotic. I like the sound of that. But seeing the night sky there without the light pollution, so much awesome there. TikTok is much louder, so that's interesting. They're both getting the same signal. It's interesting how they screw around with the outputs. I can't wait to get the streaming computer back and we could dial in all the settings again. There. That much. That is a substantial difference there. Can only chat on TikTok there. Just want to watch on a burner there. No comments there. Free app download. Oh, sure. No worries there. But I mean, yeah, the view on the TikTok is normally not the TikTok on the YouTube is much better. But you're always welcome to chat on here as well. I'm also bigger, really. Should be about the same size. Actually, oh no, actually proportionally, yeah, you're right there with the different overlays. There's more of my face covering the screen on this one. You've got the music there. Okay, so some of you are getting that, some of you are getting the other part there. And Sean, it will most likely come from the Phoenix, Arizona area. Possible there. I think the bitrate is low, but it makes sense for TikTok, normally screwing around with some parts of it there. This week's Weaponized has interesting interviews. Some of the whistleblowers are talking about the horrendous impacts on them and their families' lives. Awful. Well, I don't know if I've got the stomach for it at the minute. You know, the world just seems so bloody miserable. It really does. I did a bit of a deep dive on those missing scientists and some of the details around those. I say I did it. I watched other people do the hard work with it, and just, you come away from it. There's some stuff about the phenomena, and I think this is the part of life, isn't it? There, some stuff is interesting, some stuff is sad, but yeah, definitely come away going, oh my god, just very heavy. I mean, the hashtags there, Maya, as well. So guys, if you are just joining us, so we are doing a live alien radio signal hunt. We are searching the hydrogen line, the channel on the radio dial where scientists theorize that if ET is out there, this is where they would put the message, hello, is anybody else out there? It's where the wow signal was heard and other anomalous signals have been heard in the past there. So we are listening out there as the Earth rotates. Our dish is going to sweep across the night sky, passing over various stars. If we get very lucky, one of those stars may well be inhabited, sending us a signal, and you see it nice and clearly, if we're lucky, there on the screen. But in the meantime, whilst we're waiting for the action, do come in and say hello. Let us know where you're all watching from tonight. Let us know how you feel about the phenomena. Any questions, ask away. You're there. I also went through twice there. Told me it's filtering something. Oh, no. I only got it the once, Kate. No wonder they filter you, though. Yeah, come away from the heaviness. It's definitely... I don't normally get affected, but last week or so, very susceptible to it there. But they are trying to support other people who are considering coming forward there and helping them find the work and emotional support. And I think it's very important, isn't it? This is the thing. It's like, regardless, like some people, like myself at the minute, possibly, best not to go down certain rabbit holes, but it's very important work. And it's very important that it is publicised so people really do understand, you know, if they're considering coming forward, you know, what the likely risks are, what that actually looks like for them, but also raising that public awareness, so then hopefully it's not as easy for them to be treated that way, giving them more of a public platform. So it's very important work. I'm sure I will get round to it next week. Hopefully be in a bit of a better mood, we get the computer back. If I go down a rabbit hole and I have to turn it, yeah, I'm very, when I get hyper focused on something, that's it, I'm down on it there, and sometimes it's not a good destination. Alright, one is fixing the leak outside on the ISS. Now, really, very interesting going on up there. Well, at least they haven't had to abandon it. I think that's a very good shout there. That's probably the best way to handle it. I need to figure out what an activity can be like that. To be honest, I think it's this for me. I think it's doing the stream is my version of a gardening there. I've not got a very green finger there. Oh, the Russian part screwed up, and the oldest part. So it was the Russian part. I thought because I'd heard the Russian one had been leaking previously, but I thought it was on the other side now. Interesting. So you guys do say hello. Let us know where you're all watching from tonight there, and if you've got anything in the latest UFO news there or an experience to share, I'd love to hear about that one. Stream garden. Hey, actually, Matt, not a bad shout there. Literally watching the plants grow live. Gaffer tape and some super glue will sort it out. Syntax 100%. How you doing? We need more practical people. That's what we need. Have you guys seen the video of the astronaut asking, like, you know, mission control how to turn the GoPro on and what does, you know, insert SD card mean? It's like that was hilarious there. We need more practical people. Just get on and do it. That's what we need. The Russian side is held together with duct tape. To be fair, that's probably what it was made out of initially. And Samantha is in there from Southampton, not too far down the road from us. Very good to have you in there tonight there, Southampton. Samantha from Southampton there. Yeah, we are down. We're just up the road in Warminster in Wiltshire. And our skies are sadly too cloudy tonight for us to do a sky watch, but we can all get together and we can listen out, can't we? Like the film Contact there. Who has seen Contact? I just assume that everybody has seen it because it's a classic. And if you're interested in the aliens, brilliant film for that. Show of hands, who has seen Contact there? Let's put a little hand emoji or something in the chat there. So we're listening out for potential alien radio signals coming in from amongst the stars there. King of the rabbit hole, understand, and no others will foul horribly alone. That's life. It really is. So I have my Lego ISS there. Now that is cool. Is it more robust than the real one? So many leaks, and the space station is actually leaking too. It's where the information is coming from. You have been deleted. You deleted it, Kate. What, for all of us? There, Rich has seen Contact. I like that one. Oh, Marcus as well there. A up too, and Maya as well. If you stick up a poll, that is a yes. Let's do that. I've been known to insert a USB stick on my first attempt. That USB-C though, Syntax, right? That's the little asterisk there of the details. Seeing Contact there is one of my favourite movies there. Let's have a look. Let's do a poll, actually, because it would be good to see for the people that haven't got it on there. Let's do a quick poll. Right. the... Tiny text. So this is you on the TikTok. I can't bother to do a poll over there, so you'll just have to keep doing with the hands. Right, let's have a look. Let's see what you guys over in the tubes are for that. No, just your brain. Oh, you've had... That makes some more sense. Jodie Foster. You know, big dish. I might go watch it later, just to kind of refresh myself with it. And oh no, Matt hasn't seen it. Oh, what? You've not seen Contact? That's a crime. We've got to get on that one. It's a very, very good film. Is it Carl Sagan wrote that one? But essentially, sort of thing that we are doing here. Exoplanet on Netflix? No, I haven't actually. Let's have a look. Let's bring up my Netflix. Let's add that one to favourites. Netflix. See, I've not touched Netflix for months, but what was it we was watching on here recently? Literally just finished something. I can't remember what it was now. There was something we were watching on here, right? Exoplanet. Let's have a look. EXO. Oh, you know what? Might have that. Is that the one with the life, where it goes through what life might be like on those ones? Oh, I can't find it there. Is it that one? Not seen Carl. You've not seen Contact? Yeah, the alien life one I thought I did see on Netflix ages ago, but it was really, really good. Yeah, just trying to think of how crazy it could be to have adapted to those environments. Hello.
The Burrows.
The Burrows. That's what we were watching. Yes, that was all right. Oh God, what was I? She's always watching. What do I? Oh, bollocks! What was that film? Totally gone from Extraterrestrial. Oh, Free Body, Ellie. Yes. So, the Free Body problem there. I'm looking forward to the next season of that. And that one is, there's a few things, and I don't know which way, if I'm matching things up in the environment there, but, you know, we think about the missing scientists. We think about how physics has been, or at least theoretical physics has been sort of siloed into string theory. And then what was it, the George Bush Jr. White House there, they were all made to, when they joined, to read that book series. Could be something there. It's on your list there. Carl, it needs to be a movie club, doesn't it? Guys are classy there. I'd have just yelled up the stairs. No, I just wouldn't have heard it. She would have normally. What about a life when we realised AI and robots have always been around us? Oh, interesting take on that one. So not even just AI becomes actually sentient, there becomes life, but when we realise that it's been around us the whole time. Very interesting. I mean, what would it do for our understanding of life in general that, you know, that maybe it doesn't have to be biological. There may be nothing fundamentally different about us. We could be computational. Where are we? Up to the chat there. And it's one of your favourite ones there. Basement. Guilty. I can't sit down for too long. I do know that feeling. It is actually only 56% saying yes, though. That is very, very surprising. What won the movie club, actually? I feel like it was a fun one. Oh, Elysium is a pretty good film there, but Jodie Foster was disappointing in that one. Was Jodie Foster in Elysium? Because is Elysium... I'm going to spoil it, because it was I think if it's the one I'm thinking of, I had to Google it like literally a week or so ago what the name of it was, because it was a really, really good storyline. Really good stuff, but I'd totally forgotten the name, but I think it was Elysium. Was Jodie Foster in that? At this hour, a coffee. Awesome is this? Yeah, we're about to confirm if it's the same one. Matt Damon. What's that with the Martian? What was that? How many billions have Hollywood spent on bringing Matt Damon home from various things in various films? Oh, Arrival was a good film. And a bit boring, but to the way they communicated was very rich, 100% there. Like, just how it encapsulated the possibility of language was just spot on. I thought it was amazing there. I don't, Sean. I don't. Well, technically, if I'm being honest, I think there is one like 15 minutes or so on the train, but that just makes it a pain in the arse. So I'm going to have to pull my finger out for a disclosure day. That was it. That's what I was going to say. Right, what did the movie poll, the movie club poll go for? Movie club, what are we watching at the end of the month? Movie Club. Alien Autopsy. Awesome. Cyan and Deck one. Right. That's going to be good. So that's what we're going to be watching at the end of June. Together there over on the Discord. So make sure you're joining us for that one. It's normally the last Friday. Mission to Mars. There was two, wasn't there, Carl, that came out. Every now and again Hollywood will have this where two basically the same film will release at the same time, and it was totally coincidental. And I think Mission to Mars and was it like the Red Planet or something like that, they both came out at the same time. Very similar premise. I can't remember which one of those I saw, but one of them that had the Mars face very prominently in it, that was the one that I saw at the time. That was the first time I'd ever heard of the Mars face. Blew my mind away. I remember actually going into the school library after seeing that film and getting old National Geographics out and stuff to look for the Mars face and going, it's fucking real. God, what a memory that was there. It's a movie. Mission to Mars, yeah. It wasn't bad. Yeah, the Alien Autopsy was a movie, wasn't it, as well? I never done Movie Club there either, but recommended it. It's worth it. It's good. And Arrival was a great film. So The Arrival, Charlie Sheen, starts off very similar to what we're doing now. I won't do the spoiler in it there, but yeah, it's another one listening out for those signals from a distant stars. An orbital utopia. So, maybe it's not the one that I'm thinking of then. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I swear that was the name, because I googled it the other week. Totally typed that one wrong. Oh no, I don't think it is if it's 2013. Oh no, what's the name of... Pandorum, that was it. That's a good film, guys. Pandorum. One thing's Elysium. Anyone seen that one there? Oh, Ringworld. See, no, I haven't seen Elysium then. Yeah. I have to add that to this there. I'm sticking to Muppet Christmas Carol for PG. Actually, cheer us up a bit there. Raph will appreciate this. I've started watching Lovejoy in an evening after the stream there to calm down there. It was weird, right, how many civilizations and never got the soul and its connections. All right, so this is another interesting point. We talk a lot about the soul, we're having it there, and again, it's that sort of thing that it's a black box problem. We can't open it up and see what it is and measure it, but we're all describing a similar sort of thing through various cultures and spiritualities and religion. It feels like there's something very much there, but we don't have a lot of locked-in, agreed principles, other than we do think we have one. But beyond that, what it is, how it works, what part of us fully is it, is all up in the air. It's not very much like settled, is it? But I've heard of it that, you know, the aliens view us as containers for souls. There may be, you know, I just would assume that life would have had it as well, but maybe not. This is the thing, without good definitions, God knows what the intricacies are there. Avatar, you know what, Elliot? I haven't seen Avatar. I haven't seen it. I keep being told to. We'll have to. Why is that not on our movie club list? That needs to be on our movie club list as well. The Muppets movie is quite dark. Pandorum is the... And the Muppets movie is quite dark. It is a dark one. It's one of those ones where you go, oh, I did not like to watch that. But the actual story is really good. So it's kind of worth it there. When it's definitely, it's one of those ones that I go, yeah, Avatar. And then I just forget about it again. And I need to some point. We'll have to add it to our movie club list. Don't think, why not? Because it is an alien film. And also, it's very close. It's meant to be, isn't it? It's meant to be Proxima Centauri, isn't it? Meant to be like a moon on a planet in orbit of Proxima Centauri. So there's that touch, which I think they did discover a moon around a planet. So basically, kind of saying, oh look, it's very, like. Not saying it's true, but the actual planets. We found the matching planets for this. I don't think it has, actually. Well, definitely have to add it to the list there. Alan, can you add Avatar?
Avatar should be much better than it is. A rival film that had Amy Adams in as a linguist. Yes, so the Arrival, Marcus, yeah. So isn't it Arrival and then The Arrival is the Charlie Sheen one. So it'd be Arrival with Amy Adams there. What it talks about language is absolutely so fascinating about that. You know, we'd like to think, don't we, as language, it's the words that we use, so you know what I'm on about, basically. You know, if I go, look, this incredibly beautiful mug is black in colour. I'm conveying what shade it is there, aren't I? Of what it is. But no, there's a mug itself, you know, is a concept. It's a function. It's like a little bit of a software program. And the way that they tied that in with time was just, I think, was really, really fascinating. And look, again, time is just like, it's like the soul, it's like gravity. These are things that we have these functional definitions for, but we don't actually have good working definitions, really know much about them at all. There's so much room for playing around there, so much room for knowledge. And Kate coming in there, feeding Alan. Thank you. Guys. Appreciate that. All the gift subs go back into the stream. It's called Life in Outer Space. Ah, that's a... I feel like I may have seen, was it the one with these creatures that would run off of cliffs and stuff like that? There was like they're trying to posit of what life, how strange life could be in these different environments. I thought that was fascinating. One must understand the darkness told the... That is very, very true though, Sean. But I think we shy away from the darkness, understandably so. But that's not the way to tackle it. That's the way just to ignore it. Oh, second the Muppets Pigs in Space. Now that's one I haven't seen. Men in Black is good. The coffee drinking and cigarette smoking aliens, they are pretty funny. You know what, Men in Black, I haven't watched that one in a very long time. Either there. Oh, we're at 56% for the poll. I'm very surprised it was that close that people have not seen Contact there. Very, very surprising. There. So guys, if you are just joining us, we are doing a live alien radio signal hunt tonight there. So if, like half of the viewers there, you have seen Film Contact with Jodie Foster there, we are listing out with a big dish to the night sky there, hoping to pick up an anomalous radio signal that could well be from an extraterrestrial civilization. They're incredibly rare, obviously. It is a bit of a right place, right time. Not only has our dish got to be pointed at the right star that may have a planet in orbit that's inhabited by intelligent life, but also when that civilization may be choosing to send a message there. It is unlikely that they're just going to have the transmitter on the whole damn time. To send a signal these distances are incredibly energy intensive, and they're likely to have much better uses for that energy most of the time, like us there. Maybe they're putting it into science, maybe they're putting it into research, heating their homes, food production, whatever it may be. That there's going to be, you know, a contest for those resources in the same way for us. So yeah, unlikely to have that transmitter on the whole time. So yeah, it's right place at right time, and that may well explain why we get these anomalous radio signals, but they're not constant there. We can't get that second confirmation that we need there. The world taught us to ignore everything. Do you mean the world taught us? That is true. The world definitely did. That, not even sure if I haven't watched it fully yet. Got to keep watching and then forget that. I'm like that. Is this? And Lee, I'm in Kent. In the week there were 2 planes in the west there. It's about 10 p.m. Any idea? Oh, sorry, 2 planets in the west. So, right, which way round am I west from here? So south. Yeah, south that way. So Jupiter, isn't Jupiter doing an alignment? Somebody was saying. Is it Jupiter and Mercury? I don't know. Maybe I'll have to have a think there, Lee. Well, I know somebody in the chat will definitely know there. And how you doing, Pluto? Good to see you in. How's your weekend going? It's kind of funny considering that you've used that movie as an example since the beginning. It is a bit. I do tend to forget. It means you guys not been doing your homework. And why do you think we've not heard again the wow signal? So this is such a brilliant question. So firstly, we only sent a signal once. You know, we sent our version of the wow signal out there saying we're humans. We're on the 3rd planet from our star, carbon-based life form, blah, blah, blah. This is what our DNA looked like. We sent a very basic message once, high-powered radio message out there into deep space. But we sent it once. We didn't send it again. It was a very short book message, kind of like the wow signal. So first of all, maybe the aliens have got the same sort of politics and issues and resources that we have. You know, maybe they were doing it as a sort of a novelty like that as well. The other one is a very recent paper and it comes out. I hadn't heard this one before, but I think it's cracking, and it definitely fits a lot for me. That basically we are most likely to hear our first radio signals, these high-powered ones. We're most likely to be hearing not a hello, but a goodbye message or a help message, because again, so much energy is required to do it. A civilization is going to be most motivated to put more resources into that for a longer period of time if they've got nothing else to do. You know, if it's the end, or if they're desperate, if it's their last resort. You know, if it's a case of, look, our planet is getting swallowed by its star, we've not got long left, but we can't escape, but here's all of our knowledge, we'll send it out, and hopefully somebody can, you know, make use of the work that we did. Or maybe it's a help us, we've invented AI and it's gone horribly wrong, don't do it yourselves, come save us. Whatever it might be, that is when a civilization is going to be most motivated to send those messages. And because there'll be the more powerful ones, then we would then going to hear disproportionately more of them. So there's a phenomenon as well in astronomy where basically supernova, you know, when a star at the end of its life there explodes, goes bang, substantially. They're incredibly rare events, like really rare, but they're also one of the most common things that we see in the night sky. That's a bit of a weird one. That seems like a contradiction, doesn't it? They're so rare, but we see them this is the most common thing, or one of the most common, like, you know, radio signals that we do see, these stars going bang. Well, it's because that they are so disproportionately loud, that therefore, even though they're rare, because the universe is so vast, there's always one going off, almost over a few years. There's you know, normally one going off every 50 years or whatever it might be. Yeah, but because they're so loud, we always see them, even though that they're rare. And it might be a similar principle for the old alien radio signals there. What do you guys think? I think we need to do another poll for this one. But what do you think about METI there? The idea of messaging extraterrestrial intelligence. So what we're doing now is radio-based SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. It's got a big ear up to the night sky, listening out there to hear ET say hello. But if we could flick a switch and we could send a message, we could send our own wow signal. Do you think we should? Or should we not be meddling? What if we don't know exactly what is out there, and maybe screaming that we're here and we're technological might be a dangerous thing? Lots of people think that. Other people argue that, well, look, Earth has been screaming life in our passive radio signals. Now, they don't go as far and they're not as loud, but, you know, in theory, a technologically advanced civilization for the last 100 years could have seen that we were technologically advanced, but more than that, Earth has been screaming that it's had biological life for about 2 billion years. So any civilization in the last 2 billion years that's got the technology that we have right now could have detected, you know, Earth having a life there. So maybe it's pointless. Maybe we can send all the messages we want now. How do you guys feel on that one? So it's a very good question, Ellie. Pluto's, I highly recommend, what's that? Michael on Joe Rogan. They're absolutely fantastic. Michelle Thaler. I haven't seen that one, Pluto. I'll have to check that one out. And is this? Oh, it's Jupiter and Venus. There we go. That's what the alignment is. There we go. I knew one of you guys would know. Just an alignment. Keep out of trouble. Loving that, and thank you, Harko, for the gifts there. All the gifts, the subs, the patrons, all that jazz goes back into the stream there, including actually the merch. Look, we've got our new logbooks. This should be now available on our little shop there, so your UFO log notebooks. We've got the sample through there. That's all come out fine. And Sean, technology are not showing us our connection to the soul. They will just rule and hold us as slaves. Well, if the Anunnaki is anything to go by, then maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe that was our sort of genesis from that point, which is quite interesting to think, isn't it? There, but I mean, why not now? Or are they doing it now? This is the thing. If the universe is alive and abundant with life, all of that sort of stuff, then why do we not see them as actively? I think we do see a lot there, but it's not as if they're our rulers where they're very present. Maybe they're being more sneaky about it. And Johnny there, have you seen any UFOs tonight? They're not tonight, Johnny. No, we're doing the alien radio signal hunt tonight. Sadly, the clouds are rolling in, so we can't we can't get the camera out and get rained on. Tomorrow night is looking the same, but Monday night should be a UFO, a UAP, a skywatch. That's the other thing that we do here, guys. It's a clear night skies. We are based right in the heart of Crop Circle country and just down the road from Stonehenge here in the UK, and we do a UFO UAP skywatch, which is pretty cool. Still the night sky, all of the stars, and the stars are really clear at the minute there when the clouds bugger off. So hopefully Monday is going to be a really good skywatch. So make sure you're hanging around for those ones. Make sure you're subscribed or following to get us a notification when we go live. But cloudy nights, it's alien radio signal hunt time. We can do that regardless of the weather and to chat around what may be going on out there. and you don't want to see or know them, that they are evil. Well, I would think that if they landed in front of me, I think I would be quite upset. I do kind of want the experience, but also a little bit terrified of it. But I think we can look to Earth, can't we, as an example there. And if there are beings up there, they're going to be, some going to be good, some are going to be bad, some are going to be in between. I think it's going to be a whole spectrum, in the same way that we have to exist in this ecosphere that is our Earth, all different creatures flying around. I think the universe would be very, very similar. Always around feeding us certain destruction. So maybe they are kind of just, pulling the strings around the edges. Maybe they figured out that's the most effective way to manage us. It's on Earth. I won't be here for infinity. It very much won't. In fact, it's a lot less time than we think. We're not quite sure. There's a bit of a debate at the minute whether the sun will, because when the sun gets older, it starts to burn different fuels, and essentially it will get bigger and brighter. And we don't quite know if the Earth is going to be swallowed by the sun or if it will just get pushed further out. But we don't think that's going to be good for us either way there. So we've only got, it might even be in the millions, not even billions, that we've got left here. I mean, it's a long time for us as individuals, but not a long time for species. We have to get off the planet at some point. There, Kate coming in with the shares. Appreciate that. It is the likes, the shares, you guys tapping away there. That helps us meet more and more like-minded people like yourselves there. And the more people that come in, share their experience and knowledge with the phenomena there, the more we can all understand a little bit more about our universe and what is going on in our place. Vanette Wayfind, how are you doing? Good to see you there. And Carl, I think there's a lot of different variants of aliens, as there's good and bad in everything. Carl, that makes sense to me. For me, good and bad doesn't feel... I mean, they're the labels that we use, but it feels like, that's transcendent across life, I feel like it would apply there as well. And it's close to midnight there, False Widow. I've got a couple of False Widows in my garden. Not happy about that, but good to see you. Where are you joining us from tonight there? It's close to midnight. What time is it now? We've still got 50 minutes. We are, or are you talking about the Doomsday Clock there? Because I can go on a rant about that Doomsday Clock. Where are we? Over on the tubes there. Let's have a look. The labyrinth there. You won't get. It's one of those jokes. It's only funny at the time, but I'm telling you anyway. I was in London the other week for work. I had to stay overnight, and they put me in the cheapest travel lodge they could find. And the room was in the basement, and there was passages after you left and right and round a bit to get to this bloody room. So me going out for a cig every 10 minutes was giving me quite the exercise there. I was half expecting to see David Bowie gyrating in those corridors talking about a baby, but alas, it wasn't that kind of labyrinth. Jupiter, Venus and Mercury in close alignment until the 12th. Oh, we got the third one in there, so I technically wasn't quite wrong. Just missed out Venus there as well. Hydration reminder. Oh, coffee. Oh, it's too late for coffee. Keep me up there. Lee, how are ya? And good evening there. Got my partner watching you tonight there. She's a virgin to the show. Well, Lee's partner. What's the name there? Her name is Sue. Hello, Sue. And welcome aboard. Are you interested into this sort of stuff as well? Or are you kind of like just seeing what Lee's into? Have you had your own experience there? But good having you in. And especially you're on the tubes there, so you've got the better quality visuals there. So we're doing a live alien radio signal hunt, and is searching the hydrogen line, which is where the WOW signal was heard. It's a channel on the radio dial where scientists theorize we are most likely to hear a message from ET, should they be out there. If we do get lucky enough, that signal will only be on the screen for between 30 to 90 seconds there. Nice big ridge in the middle there if it's a strong enough signal. But you think of as the Earth is spinning, it's rotating, our dish is going to sweep across that night sky there. So at these sorts of distances, only going to be over a planet but between 30 to 90 seconds there because of those distances. So close by, again over the tubes you can see this, but TikTok you can't see it because you've got the condensed version. The actual, you can see the sky map there where you see what our dish has got in range. We've got two close-ish by stars in range there. One I'm calling Zune because I cannot pronounce it there. That's 77 light years away. And Deshuba, which is probably again a wrong pronunciation, is 400 light years away. So for some perspective, our closest stellar neighbour there is Proxima Centauri, about 4.2 light years away. So that's our neighbour. So that's 77 light years away. You're at the end of the street, basically, there. So they're on the same street, but not next door. 400 light years, that's the other side of town, isn't it, really? For us in space terms. But the closer these stars are, the higher the chances are that we could potentially get a signal, because it's just less distance, less energy required for that signal to reach us here, and for us to be able to detect it. Can you phone a friend there, Mayor? Of course. And syntax there, I vaguely remember a theory that the Greys are actually AI drones there. Virtual suits, if you like. I've heard there's a lot of interesting things around the drones there, that they're kind of like biological robots there. There are people that reportedly have access to their genetics, and you know, they go, look, those their DNA has been, it's just too tidy. They are like built for purpose, the sort of drones there. Maybe they're AI, but in a biological suit. I like the us from the future there. And check on the gravitational spectrum. I do actually need to start doing that now. I need to get some sort of gravitational anomaly detectors. I've noticed that they do start to come up as products now, so we do need to kind of tie that in. Do we? Are we measuring that in the meters? That's a very good shout there. Alan as well. There, syntax. Proxima is very interesting there, and I heard there are 3 potential Earth-like planets. So yeah, that is the modern signals that it was the magnetic field, wasn't it? They tested there, so they know of 2, but there's a potential 3rd one. The more we look, and look, if you take the BLC1 signal as something that could potentially be a bit more interesting there, then you know, there's a chance that we may have neighbours. The house next door may be occupied. Who would have thought? I read Alien Ant Farm and thought good band. Oh, that takes me back. That was my era for getting into music, that was. Where are we in? Let's have a look there. There's something evil lurking in the dark there. Not only in the dark, and it's all around us there. And did you see the story? The scientists found psilocybin spores and DMT on a meteor. No, I did not see that one. But panspermia is absolutely fascinating. It really, really is fascinating. The idea that, you know, spores, life can be transferred through the universe, through the galaxy, from planet to planet there by sharing these rocks and things. You know, one impact hits the ground, launches a rock that's got life on it into space, flies around for a bit, re-enters. We know it's in principle there, and I think that's possibly where life comes from Earth there, why we can't see that initial instance, why we can't figure out how life, the case of abiogenesis, life from nothing, started here on Earth, because it didn't start here. That's what I think. That's a very interesting way to find. But yeah, there's evil lurking in the dark. There's evil everywhere. False. I would second that one. I don't think we take it seriously enough. And there, I don't think my comments are coming through there since I've been using the laptop. Oh, TikTok, that one comes through. He's always It's always the one that goes, I don't know if my comments are coming through. That one, it's like TikTok lets that one through, so it doesn't kind of catch you out. You got to check out, if you're on your laptop, check us out on the tubes there at the Thing UFO. Much better view, more of the screen, and we don't normally get as many issues over there as well. But I got that one. French as well. We've definitely got more neighbours than we think. I honestly think it's going to be bloody alive. I think life's just going to be everywhere. You know, if there's one other planet, then there's 1,000. You know, it just proves that life is everywhere. But I do lean towards that maybe the initial case of life, maybe there was just one individual case, you know, on a distant planet around a distant star, and life has just kind of seeded its way around. Maybe that's why we look so similar, because we're all technically related. That's why they can, octopus look weird, but they can still find where they are on the chart, you know, the genetic linkage to them. So maybe they are technically alien, but also we are all related, maybe. We've definitely got more neighbours than we've 100% there, and this one proves the case. That is incredible, because you know, mushrooms and, you know, so what's the mycelium, you know, mushrooms, basically fungus mushrooms. That's been one of those connectors, like octopus. There you go. There, it's so weird. That's a good case for panspermia. But if they've actually found those spores on, and that have, you know, been on a you know, meteorite or something like that, survived entry, that is very, very interesting. Proves that they can survive. So, does it match up to species we've got here? Because this is the other thing. That sample may have come from whatever planet, but if that's come through, others have come through. So it's probably likely that, you know, what we've already got exposed to that life already. Have you played Voices of the Void before? No, I haven't. Where are we? Spending time in nature is good. I need to include more of it. I do surprisingly less of that than I expected since moving to the country. Going to the Alan Bates chat there. It's 2 apparently. Oh, what's syntax? Is that the spores on the comet? That is very, very interesting there. And Tommy, thank you for the gift. Appreciate that. All the gifts, the subs, the Patreons, guys, the super chats, the members, all that jazz are there. And Harko as well, coming in the extra gifts. All goes back into the stream. Merch too, like this wonderful t-shirt. All goes into equipment there to help us improve on what we're doing. We've got some updates coming in there. How you doing, Tommy Pickles? Lonely as well there. That game is right up your valley. I'll try and check it out there. Let me actually put a note down, because otherwise I will forget. What was it called there? Voices of the Void. It does sound familiar. CV, look, that's my work notes. We haven't played games in a while. And now we can't, because the bloody computer's buggered off somewhere for repair. Hopefully we'll get that back sorted this week, though. It was data and sent back from a meteor in space. It was data sampled and sent back from... Really? I know that they found organics and stuff, but I didn't know they found something as complex as a spores. That is brilliant there. We've been altered. That's another strong contender there. Maybe there is, that organic element of us in our development here. But, somebody coming along just pushed it a little bit. It could make an interesting argument for that. In 4 billion years, this world has been here. But yet, people barely have been here for 5,000 at push. Yeah, that doesn't add up for me, Tick Tick. That really doesn't. Either, as you say there, somebody came along quite recently, did a little bit of tweaking, and all of a sudden went, well, hey, cities. Or what happened is that there has been a lot of civilizations in the past. And things have just got a bit too spicy, and we've knocked them out there. Either one of those, I think, is interesting candidates there. But you can't see your name. I can't set your name back there, Tommy. Is Tommy Scotland as normal? It's Rugrats was Tommy Pickles, wasn't it? And 4 billion years to evolve into people is mad. I mean, this is the thing. We talk about how long it's taken for us to evolve. 4 billion years, we say, because we're looking at the timeline that Earth has been habitable. But they said scientists semi-recently did the maths on this, and they said, right, well, actually, how long does it take to knowing evolution, knowing roughly how long all these steps are going to take? Let's add it all together. And we were 2 billion years short for life to develop from zero here on the Earth. But, funnily enough, Mars was habitable for 2 billion years before the Earth was, so that's perfectly enough time for life to develop. So I think at the very least, life in some sense developed there, and was, panspermia sent it over here. If we evolved from apes there, where are all the ones still evolving? And apart from the Rangers fans, well, this is the thing, isn't it? It's like, what is the timescales? I mean, sometimes they do say, look, evolution is in action here, but all the little deviations and variations. Our version of evolution is not quite Darwin's evolution. Darwin's actually more of a fan of, it wasn't just, you reproduce, you die, they're the only actions that affects, the traits being passed on. No, Darwin's a fan of that. Could be a little bit of real-time stuff going on, real-time editing there. Maybe your influences in your life will then change the genes that get passed down a bit later on and stuff, which probably looks a little bit more realistic. I do think that the mainstream narrative with all of these things, I think that the healthy approach, right, with all of this stuff, whether it's evolution, whether it's the pyramids, whether it's aliens out there, it's that, right, if I do not know and I don't have evidence to the contrary, then I will use the mainstream narrative as a placeholder. That way we all stop going crazy. It allows us to function in our day-to-day lives. It tells you when to be worried, it tells you what to portion resources for, and also how to have a conversation. But when something presents itself to you that doesn't quite match up with that narrative, maybe it's some information, like a really good question, like a little bit of a paradox there, then that is our indicator to go, let's look a little bit deeper here with these sorts of things. But that's where the mainstream, they'll hold on to their map even when it's taking them off of the road. There, the story popped up my feed, and it seems to check out that. Oh, DMT though is unreal. It's not. That's one of the few experiences I haven't had yet. I'm not sure if I'm up for it. If I'm psychologically stable enough for that. But it is fascinating. It is very, very interesting as an angle there. I mean, I'm interested in all that stuff. A girl made me change my name to the Rugrats Tommy there just a week. Is this a bet, or is this the price for love, Tommy? The things that we will do. Have you got the screwdriver in your back pocket there to get yourself out of trouble? I actually imagine you have. How are you doing, G-Wack? And thank you for the gift. How have you been? Good to see you in. We've been off a lot this week, haven't we, guys? We had some technical issues, so... But we should be... we're on a temporary setup at the minute. That's why sound and things are a little bit wonky. You can't hear the signal as much and all that sort of jazz. But we should hopefully get the computer back at least temporarily Monday. And then we got some new exciting updates to come for you there. But obviously updates as well, guys. Merch! You can have a look of your very own Signal Hunter t-shirt with a cool dish on the night sky there. And your UFO sightings logbook. And your mug for drinking whilst you're watching and relaxing for the evening there. Oh, Jama persists. Okay, no worries. But thank you for joining us, Kate. Tell me about evolution. It makes no sense there. Our religious writings of how it began makes no sense. This is the thing. Like, we I think on our side we have to be more forgiving of the mainstream narrative there, but the mainstream narrative has to also not claim to be the one and all thing, you know, whatever it is, you know, this thing, we have to go, look, we're human, we're doing our best with limited information. Over time we are getting better at it there, so let's not expect them to actually get it anywhere near right anytime soon. But then they have to also get off of their pedestal and say, look, this is our best go at it, guys, and kind of be a bit more humble, I think. Because you're right, there are lots of things that don't add up. And what is the likelihood that us humans, with the limited sensor suite that we have, with the limited processing power that we're going to get anywhere near to objective reality anytime soon? Like a look of, I look like Penfold from Danger Mouse. I like that. And you're pulling your top up then, shoving it. I mean, you know, we hit the gift goal there, G-Wack, you know, do anything. Scientists now questioning the Big Bang there, JWST, is proving everything wrong there. I'm at a loss. So this is the thing, Tommy. That makes sense, doesn't it? Because we are told that science is, they discover something, they lock it in, and they move to the next thing, they lock it in. There's very rarely a mistake, but that's not science at all. That's not even how they talk about it themselves. Like the Big Bang is something from the 90s. You know, that is when that became more prevalent, was the fucking 90s, like the dinosaurs as well. I think that was the 90s. You know, the dinosaurs being knocked out by the meteorite. They were the big meteorites wiping out the dinosaurs. That was something that was scoffed at, like our sort of stuff, until they did find a big crater for it. Science does adapt eventually when there is enough evidence there, but it is not efficient at adapting. You know, it's our best working guess. That is what it is. And I think that's more of a healthier way to look at it from both sides, both of them. But this is the thing, the scientists, they don't want that. This is the thing. They'll complain that we're coming in with all of our theories, you know, trying to check their work. Going, look, you're not trusting us, you know. Why? Because you're claiming to be perfect with all of this stuff all of the time. You know, they want to be the smart ones. They want to have that social credibility that, oh, I'm a scientist, I'm Billy Big Bollocks. And you go, mate, you squeeze a pipette of whatever liquid into a petri dish 1,000 times and then enter the data into the computer there. You are the white coat Amazon warehouse worker equivalent of scientists. You know, they have to come off their pedestal and we can be more reasonable with them. It's a very good point. You know, like we are only scratching the surface of reality there. Academics can't go against the mainstream science, or they lose the funding there, so I hope it's gone there. But that is part of the pressure that they get, but that's the system that they perpetuate. You know, but there is always going to be a system. You know, that is the other hand of culture. I think that's why we need to, as individuals, rather than saying that this is a science problem or a religious problem or an us problem, this is an individual problem that we want gods. You know, we want angels and demons in the real world. You know, we want good versus bad. We want our scientists to cure our problems. We want our police officers to help us when we're ill there, you know, and all etc, etc, etc. We want these perfections to be able to help us navigate a scary world. And I think we just have to come down and go, right, that ain't the world, you know. We're all just trying our best. As well there, Plonkers, exactly, Frenchie. Where are we over on the tubes? Where did we get to with you guys? My eyes start to get worse as the night goes on there. Going to write a sick note for Sam there, 2 weeks in nature. I would love that. I tried that. I did try that like a couple of years ago. I booked myself in nature. It's about as nature as I could get to by the train, but I booked myself into like a semi-remote Airbnb in the New Forest. I really didn't know what to do with myself for 2 weeks. No tech, anything like that. Liam was very unhappy with me. I was like, love, no distraction. I'm disappearing for 2 weeks with some ponies. And I read a lot of books, but it didn't cure me. Although I do really wouldn't mind doing it again. And Phil there, I have a theory that there's another Goldilocks zone much further from the stars. Areas where microbial life survives on rocks and dust without atmosphere are kind of like the tumbleweed. I think you're totally right there, Phil. I really do. Like the Goldilocks zone was, again, that was our first best guess. We were looking at the life that we understood on Earth, and again, we didn't understand life very well back then, and we don't understand it much better now, but it was very limited, but life has proved to be much more resilient. So that Goldilocks zone has been pushed wider and wider and wider. But also, now there are things of that was just based on like the heat from the star there, the distance away, so water could be liquid. So it's a very, very simple explanation. But now we know that gravitational interaction with planets around other large bodies. I think like the moons of Jupiter there, they're so close that the gravity is just flexing the planet. That flexing creates friction, creates heat, which ice planet there, hydrothermal vents. Heat could mean life, which is well out of the Goldilocks zone. So life is seeming to be incredibly, incredibly resilient. So I think you're quite right there. And it's a very good point there. And syntax there, it seems most solar systems will have an Earth-like planet in the Goldilocks zone. It's starting to look like that. Again, they didn't know. This is where most of the scientific cynicism comes from with aliens. And then this is their foundation that then they go forward with to when they're talking about the radio signals or anything like this. It's that they did not know that there were planets around those other stars. They just didn't know. We could have been special. But we got our first exoplanet detection, I think it's in the late 90s. It's the first, so technology still was a bit like that. But now we're at the point where every star, I think, that we scan, that we have the ability to, because we can only get certain ones that aren't too bright at the minute, but that technology is getting better. But the ones we are scanning, they're having multiple planets in them. I mean, we can see the bigger ones easier, because obviously they're bigger. They dim the star's light a little bit more, so it's easier for us to see. But yeah, we are starting to notice more rocky planets. It's looking like that our solar system isn't necessarily special there. And what would that indicate? But it was the fact that they didn't know that there were other planets that there could even be life on. That is where that mainstream scientific scoffing of, well, we don't even know if aliens are real, that is like, no, now astrobiologists think life is going to be everywhere. Like, they haven't conclusively proved it, but their speculation is that life is actually going to be everywhere. Like, now that solved that one, but the rest of science hasn't caught up, and therefore they base their opinions on that scoffing and that cynicism. When actually, no, it's like when we go back to the label release experiments on the Viking landers from the 70s. There, they were two separate landers, multiple experiments done on each. There, each time said positive for microbial life being alive currently on Mars. The reason that NASA said, well, we can't say positive, actually, we'll have to say it's inconclusive, was because there was a third experiment on on those rovers there that actually analysed the soils looking for organic matter there, the stuff that we thought life needed to survive, and that test came back negative. Now, the problem is that the actual experiment, the machine that did those tests, we knew, and NASA actually knew before the mission launched, that was faulty. So that data was flawed there. But we also now know that with new mission, there is organics on Mars, but also organics aren't as necessary as we thought. So all of the reasons for writing off that there is definitely life on Mars, the reasons that they wrote that off back in the 70s have now been disproved, but they haven't actually gone back and updated that statement. But if you open that box up and you look at the ingredients and you go, why do you say there's not life? There is no excuse at all. Life is abundant up there as far as we know. And there's all sorts of other adjacent interesting things there. But this is the thing, how science works. It's that, the house of cards that things are built on. And if those foundational pieces there are crap, as AI is now finding out of a lot of scientific papers there, they're actually scanning them and going, oh, yeah, no, that's bullshit. And there's 4,000 other papers have been built on this. Sadly, some stuff I was looking at about Alzheimer's drugs there. They've wasted tens of billions down this particular vein of research for Alzheimer's cures. And it was all based on one paper from a group of scientists there that totally lied, that faked it for the attention. And since that point, we've spent 20, 30 years researching this particular hopeful solution for Alzheimer's, spent billions on that one, all that false hope, all those people that have had drugs tested on them, but yeah. So science isn't a perfect machine, and it's also not perfect at correcting itself. It's very inefficient at that. And these things can propagate throughout time. When I was a kid, my teachers had me believe that we moved out of caves and into pyramids there. Like next week, it's like snails from a different shell. And look, as a kid, like maybe not school level, but like, you know, if you've got a toddler and they're going, you know, where did we come from? The little linear development, you go, look, us monkeys, you know, that's fine. You know, you're telling that you're giving them a simplified version. As they get older, they will understand a little bit more about the world and how it all works. So you can fill in the gaps and the details. But a lot of this stuff, that they don't come back to it, and we end up, well, as adults, you know, a lot of adults having this very sort of simplified narrative. Logic, physics, and mathematics is the way to handle it, though. I agree. I think it's the great, but I think we need to start before we even try to do the specifics, because, see, like a lot of you guys, we all have overlapping interests with this sort of stuff, but we look at the alien stuff and we look at the ancient history stuff, and you can look at, I don't know, whether it's the Kurt Cobain conspiracy stuff, whatever it is, it's the same issue. The mainstream, be it a scientific community there or an authority, will not look at the raw data. They're basing it off of averages and principles, and there's something that we're going, nah, this seems to deviate, lads. You know, it's the same story over and over again. So whatever the solution is transcendent to that, and I think it is down to us as individuals. It's not about throwing our toys out of the pram with what those structures are. It's just understanding what they are really, rather than pretending that they are the tool for everything there. Or a you problem is vanilla. Yeah. I've just done 4 days alone in nature, and by the gods, it's been amazing as felt needed. I have this dream, mate. I really, if I was driving again, I would have buggered off to nature. Probably would have brought you guys along for the road. For the ride, not for the road, just for the road. I'll leave you when I get there. Hydration reminder, thank you there, and loving the hashtags. Guys, it's the likes. I can see the hearts popping up there as well. The likes, the shares, the hashtags, all that jazz helps us reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves. And the more eyes and minds we get on the old phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together there. If you are new here, do say hello. Let us know where you're all watching from tonight. We're doing a live alien radio signal hunt tonight there. We are searching what is called the hydrogen line, the channel on the radio dial where scientists theorise that if ET's out there, this is where they would leave the hello, is anybody else out there message. It's where the wow signal was heard back in the 70s, but many, many more anomalous signals since. And we're about to get a brand new star just about in range of our dish. So if you're over on the YouTube, you can see a bit more of the screen. And yeah, you'll be able to see that its Antares is ever so slightly about to come in range. It's on the cusp of our outer rim there. So let's see if the signal changes as a star starts to pass in front of us there. But yeah, we're listening out for potential alien radio signals. Say hello, but give us a follow or subscribe, whatever it is, wherever you are. Clear nights, we do the alien radio. Clear nights, we do the UFO, UAP, Skywatch. And cloudy nights, we do this alien radio signal hunt there. As corruption for funding is a problem. It really is. But again, with this, I think we are no more corrupt than we ever have been. It's just that we're seeing more of it now. We're seeing these imperfections, that sort of stuff there. Oh, welcome to Pagan Camp. I'd be useless at it, but I like the idea. Somewhere out in Wales. And so hey, first time here there, listening from Shropshire. Well, very, very welcome in there. Have you ever had an experience with the phenomenon? Would love to hear about that one, but very, very welcome in tonight there. Make sure you check us out. Hopefully Monday we should have a clear sky for a UFO, UAP Skywatch. They are my favourite. The sky is absolutely beautiful, obviously, at night. All the stars, all the shooting stars, like things like that. But they're also very active because we are coming to you live from Wiltshire in the UK, right in the heart of Crop Circle country and just down the road from Stonehenge. So lots of weird and wonderful things in these skies. Make sure you check us out for those ones as well, guys. But yeah, do ask any questions there. Say hello, ask any questions. Maybe it's what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we're doing it there, or if you've seen something in the news, or if you've had an experience, we'd love to hear about all of that one. Brad!
Nom nom nom, thanks.
How you doing? Thank you for feeding Alan. Bounce back over to the TikTok chat. Let's have a look. Where did we get to? Got to there. Sounds like heaven, yeah. And it's like these posts. If you can live in the middle of nowhere, no tech for 1 million there, could you do it? This is the thing. I think that, you know, the all in nature or the all in tech, again, it's the binary. You know, what we do is we're silly as people. We go, I've done too much of this thing, let's go all the way to the other thing. And really, it's about finding a healthy balance and integration between the two. Look, I do it with binge eating. I'm terrible for you know, like trying to occupy myself with eating, as you may tell there. And, you know, so once I've stuffed my face with something savoury, then I have to stuff my face with something sweet. And then I go, oh, you know, I need to savour it. I stop myself at that point, but I never learn. It's just the, you know, technically it's the definition of sin. Sin means to miss the target. And if you think about it, if you're trying to aim like your bow and arrow there or whatever, you're trying to aim at a target. First time you do it, you're going to be crap. It's going to be off target, isn't it? But you know, you fire, it goes off, it's to the left of the target. What do? You overcompensate to the right, because again, you don't know the precision. So you do it in the other way, trying to correct it. Boom, no, it's too far to the right. So then you try and aim again. Boom, too far to the left. But every time you get it more and more precise, isn't it? But that, I think, is what we need to do in society with a lot of these sorts of things there, is get our aim much better. Stop bouncing to the binaries. Although I still would be tempted with the cabin in the woods. Cabin in the woods. Can you imagine what the lack of light pollution would do for our sky watches there? There are getting to your messages now, Ben. How are you doing? How's your weekend going? Saying, okay, of course, so problems won't be easy to obsess with the tech. So this is the I do love. And look, you know, there is always an upside to the tech as well. This is the thing. There is a trade-off. You know, that it definitely comes with its costs, but it does have its advantages. We are definitely not special there. And imagine what else is out there. It's fascinating. Oh, this thing, how can we even perceive what is out there? Like, to even give it like a 5% chance, you know. We can only imagine things based on, you know, the things that we have experienced, seen, witnessed, you know. And look, you know, the more creative people are, the more leaps and jumps they can go ahead there. Rather than 5 arms, maybe a very creative person can say 10 arms. With toes rather than fingers. So, you know, but we can only, we're basing it on the things I experienced there. The universe is going to be so much more amazing than we can ever wrap our heads around. Even if we could visually see it, we probably wouldn't understand it. But yeah, I love the fact we're definitely not special, because we tend to assume that we are. We are making those same mistakes that we did in the days of Copernicus there. Just we're saying about, you know, science is just treats itself as God there. You know, we are not special. We're not the center of everything there. I mean, there is a small chance that we are, but until there is good evidence to say definitely, then we shouldn't assume. We should assume that we are probably a version of a standard. And I'd be worried about the free bears. You just got to make sure your porridge is too hot or too cold, Carl, and you'll be fine. They won't bother you. And you know, like the cancer courses, they found a killing cure. Costs too much, and the population is too high. This is thing, you know, like not to go fully down the rabbit hole there as well. But we live generally much longer now as adults. You know, adult humans. But it's not very good, not very useful years, is it? So what they do is they put us all in a home, and then they wonder why everybody suffers. I would put money on the majority of what we call aging and the decline around that is purely because people do not have a good roles in society there and how we handle these things, you know. And I was saying this to Leanne, it's really interesting that I'm seeing a lot more movies lately that are kind of like the reverse of kids movies, but they're for the elderly. They're the old people that are breaking out of the old folks home, and they become the hero of the story. And it's like we infantilize, you know, going into certain ages and stuff. And look, there are definite care needs and stuff like that as well, but you know, like this thing, you know, you've got this middle part of your life where you're apparently useful, and then the rest of it, you know, what do we do? You know, so if we do cure everybody, what, we're going to have more people in care homes? You know, how does it work there? That to me is a sign that the wheels are falling off, that we haven't found a natural balance. You know, there was a brilliant study where they got the elderly that were in care homes. I think it was in the US somewhere. They tried this. They got the elderly that were in care homes to basically run daycare for the kids, which, you know, was incredibly expensive. So it kind of worked out. You know, the old people had a purpose, but the kids that came out from that daycare were average like a year or so ahead from their different, you know, daycare providers. They were so much more like well-rounded. They were accustomed to death. You know, they cope with these things. You know, it was such a brilliant way to integrate the things. And this is the problem. I think we're isolating these things in a scientific way, because that's what science does. It goes, right, this particular thing, let's look at that into detail, but you forget the context. You forget that integration with the other things. There, so I think that's something we've got to figure out there, because yeah, there's all this. It's never just a simple thing, is it? There, G-Wag Tommy coming in with the shares, thank you guys, and Frenchie. Jumped ahead there. Imagine what minerals are on the faraway planets there that UFO technology comes from. Honestly, can we even comprehend the realities of it there? So the internet has been so better. No worries, Pluto. And are there CE5 meetups in the UK? Wiltshire sounds perfect. That high strangeness and lots of pubs. Actually, it's probably a good connection. There must be. I know a few of you guys are into that. Have you come across that one? If not, we'll have to start one. So I ain't been on much going on at the moment there. Working till 14 hours. Oh, that is crazy there, Brad. No worries. We've also been off this week. Most of it anyway, though we had computer issues. So I bodged a system together at the second. But yeah, our main rig is in the shop. But it is good to see you there. I hope it's good and fun busy as well. And Elu there, we can't be only living people in the... We just can't. And I feel that's logical, Ellie. I really do. Like, why would we think the other way around? Like, from a starting point, we're isolating too much in there. We really are. But this is the thing. It's like science is brilliant. It's a brilliant tool, but it works by that narrowed focus. And that's how it can push it, make the developments it can. But the cost is, again, that wider picture, that lack of integration there. We need to account for that with it there, because otherwise it's going to stop becoming the benefit is and just going to become these massive problems. And when can you show us the stars and the planets again? Frenchie, hopefully Monday night. You never know. The weather changes like the weather, so it could go either way. There is a chance that, well, we thought we might have got lucky tonight, but it didn't work out. So you never know. Tomorrow is scheduled for rain, but it's worth checking in because it can change overnight. Because, yeah, I love the stars. The stars are my favourite there as well. If anybody's a witch doctor and can control the weather, please inbox me. That would be a very useful service there. G-Wack?
Nom nom nom, thanks,
Thank you
guys.
for feeding Alan. Right, let's bounce back over to the tubes. And the Higgs boson surprisingly worked out there with CERN. So they have made progress in certain things. It's not that science doesn't do anything. Look at all the technology that we're utilising tonight to do all this sort of stuff. The electronics there, the medicine. God knows I rattle. I've the pills that I'm on there. So it's not about writing it all off there. We don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater there, but we have to kind of be, I think, willing to open up and look where the issues are. Otherwise, those ignored issues will just build up over time. Cabin in the Woods in the paranormal investigation. I'm looking at some paranormal stuff at the minute there. And so it's there. So one time, a couple of years ago, I used to walk up to a nearby hill fort in the evening, and I had been sat there until after dusk. I noticed the star, but didn't really take notice of it after a while there. I noticed it got slightly larger, and then 10 minutes later, it was definitely considerably brighter. Then it shot off to the side and disappeared. Now, that is fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that one. This is my favourite part, is hearing all these accounts that you wouldn't otherwise hear about that, And very interesting. I mean, the movement, anomalous. That's it. Outright slam dunk there. That is stationary to buggering off. What the hell is that? What is the mainstream explanation for a sighting like that? That is fantastic. I love that. But also the hill forts as well. So we're lucky where we are here in Wiltshire. Our little town is surrounded by Iron Age hill forts. And back in the 60s and 70s, there was a UFO flap here. And they used to go up those Iron Age hill forts and, have all these really cool sightings. There's loads of books on it. I've got most of them that are halfway through downstairs. But yeah, they're fantastic time in the 70s doing that. So we, every now and again, take this show on the road. We've got a little on-the-road rig. We bring you with us and take you up those Iron Age hill forts there, and it looks quite similar to our normal Skywatch, except for we're purple with the infrared, and I normally get very cold, but it is different. It is some of the sightings, and just you saying like that light movement there, like the last time we went up, there was this weird light, and it didn't quite act like that for us, but something was going on. There is a connection between all this ancient sort of stuff, the shenanigans afoot there. It's a very interesting science, so thank you, Ian, for sharing that one. And science requires just as much faith as religion there, but it always amazes me with some scientists are so close-minded. So Phil, 100%, this is the thing, there is science, and then there is the scientific method, and they are two different things. So the scientific method is brilliant there, and it works on actually testing and repeated testing to confirm facts. But most scientists are religious about science there. They have faith in the scientific method and the process, the institutions and the authority around those people. That is a religion. That is an act of faith. But faith is fine. Belief is fine. We need that to function in the world. This is the thing. We've got quite cynical, with post-religious era and all this sort of stuff, but it's a normal, healthy metric of how the human brain works. We can't know everything all of the time. And like the example that I give is that I have to act on faith when I commute to work. I get on a train and we go over a bridge that goes over a river. I don't get out and I don't check that bridge myself. I don't test the concrete. I don't inspect for cracks. No, I have faith that the civil engineering degrees and all of the checks that they do are going to be 99 times out of 10, it's going to be fine. That bridge is going to support and hold. But that is an act of faith. That is not science on my behalf. I have not done that thing. As soon as you delegate the responsibility to somebody else, it becomes non-scientific. It becomes an act of faith and belief. But that is fine. That is the other flip of this, is that they need to get that they are acting that way, but also that it is fine. So it's there. They act religiously, and the reason that they do it is because it's a normal part of how our minds work. There, we all have to do it. There, it's just what our belief structures are different. So I never considered that aspect of it there. It's just where I used to go there. The Shropshire-Wales border has a lot of hill forts, but an interesting angle on that location was potentially important. So, I mean, it might just be like an observation bias thing there, because we do the hill forts, but again, you're out above the towns, probably more rural areas where those hill forts are there. A nice flat, no trees for the light blocking. So maybe it's like just a statistical thing of that, it's just a really good viewing platform, maybe. Quiet, so you're spending more time looking up at the night sky, maybe. Yeah, eloquence is not my strong suit there, but well, they shoot off. It's there's been some interesting sightings. And as Maya says there, do join us over on our Discord as well. Again, if you want, guys, I don't have my button to press. We have a link in bio for our Discord, but I know we've got a personal experiences section there where the community that aren't on tonight would love to hear that account as well. It just really was familiar with the strange lights for us to go out to the hill forts. Look how many life forms there are on our world, and we're still finding new ones. There got to be life there, 100% there is a life form, an organism, a species for every niche, every environment there. Even ones that we thought were totally impossible. Life is just absolutely there. Why would it not be out there? Why would we be special here? You just look to that as an example. I think government control the skies. To a degree. But I am so torn with the government between total incompetence and also total conspiracy and control. I haven't quite figured out that paradox yet. An excellent community just teared up there, G-Back. Well done. And thank you. If we didn't thank you again, feeding Alan.
Thanks, guys.
Always back into the stream there. And Frenchie, I've had an amazing view of Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter from my window past couple of days. It's a good alignment at the minute, isn't it there? It's been cloudy and miserable here. I haven't seen anything at all. So very jealous of that. Rich, if you destroy the science books, they come back at pretty much the same there. Not so with the religious books. That's a good angle, actually. So this is the thing, is that the way I see it is that, look, science is a tool, religion is a tool, art is a tool, but science is the scalpel, whereas religion is really broad and conceptual, and they both have their places. In the same way that you might choose a different radio frequency for a different purpose. We want this to go long distance and be very, very resilient, but we need this one to be, much more efficient and doesn't have to go as far. It's the same, I think, with how we operate in the world there, how we understand information. And, it's just a low... It's just not as specific is the best way to put it. But science is incredibly specific. But kind of like if I was working my way through a jungle, I don't want a scalpel, I want a machete. I need a bigger tool, a more of a blunt instrument there to just, not blunt instrument, but a much bigger one, because that's the nature of the job. And I think back in the early days, we needed a rough structure of how the world worked to the degree that we interacted with it, and religion was great for that in that overall sense. But now, the benefits of science being able to be more precise, and what we're seeing for that, I think, is amazing there. But we can't bring that same scalpel to those bigger areas there. So we have to, as individuals, we'll all act on faith in certain ways there. It's just which religion is it? But that's a very interesting angle there, Rich. And I love to use a baby monitor in a quiet area and see if we pick up anything like the science. Oh, Carl. I'm trying to think. Who do I know has got a baby monitor? So, I was thinking we could give that a go on our next hunt. But what would you do if you're in the middle of nowhere and it picks up a baby crying? That would be worse than the alien sounds on it there. And I'd go total incompetence there with the government there. The desire to be a politician should be that is the initial red flag, isn't it? It is the initial red flag. There's something about the just inefficiency of organisations. You know, it's a natural inherent principle when things get a certain scale. And I think like with groups of people, it's beyond 5. You drop to about like 20% efficiency. So these are inherent with it there. Like when a system gets so large that it becomes its own independent system. So you take the stock markets there, they were designed so people could invest money into businesses that they wanted and they thought they had legs there, and then they could earn a bit of return, but the business could get investment into it there. But it's now become a game, it's become gambling, it's become a meme of itself. The same with politicians. You know, they were initially to represent all walks of life and blah 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 blah, you know, that they'd all have the, you know, the bit to make the decisions together. But now politicians don't represent anything other than their universities. There's none of that experience coming to the table, you know, like that. So I think when systems get too large and they become their own independent system, that has got to be the red flag. No idea how you tackle it there. You stop typing so I can add a like or two. You're slacking there, can't Tommy? Not at all. I do appreciate that there. Tommy is very. I do like the angles, and they communicate on a different frequency than us. They may do, but maybe not even a radio frequency. I mean, look, we're looking for everything is a frequency. Even we're not solid objects. That is a trick of our perception that we appear to be solid, but we're still vibrating on a frequency. So maybe it's something that's just, again, it's not even a sound frequency. It's not a radio frequency. It's just a total different line. And maybe that's when that consciousness connection comes in, overrides that. It'll be a good evidence of paranormal activity. And imagine hearing alien chat. Oh God, that would be good. But can you imagine how scared I'd be there? Energy radio, it very much does. You know, everything is a wave. And you can follow the UFO on YouTube. Exactly. So appreciate that one there. And a want for control, but too incompetent to do it there, or pretends incompetence to cover control. I'm trying to wrap my head. I think, you know, it's got to be something along those lines. But it still feels like a paradox to me. You know, like they're all to blame, but also they're incompetent. The James Webb Space Telescope was a great upgrade. It very, very much was. Phenomenal bit of kit there. But also, we've got some very interesting other telescopes coming online. Is it the Vera Rubin that's going to be the one that's going to be so good at picking out, you know, like we had 3i Atlas and all those interstellar objects? It's going to be like picking them up like left, right, and center constantly, apparently. And then there's, what's the other one that's coming online that they think this one is very, very soon, that they think it's going to be so good at detecting, you know, so the atmospheres basically around these distant planets, around other stars. So at the minute we can just about do it, and we can kind of analyze some of those atmospheres, but the confidence in what we're detecting isn't very high. So with some of these, which is really, really bloody interesting for me anyway, is that it looks like with these early detections that there is gases around these, in the atmospheres around these planets, that as far as we know, only life can make. So that's a biosignature, that's a sign there's life on those distant planets, but it's their confidence at the minute and how accurate that assessment may be. But this new one that's coming online is meant to be, that's going to sort that one out. That's going to confirm it and also find a fuck lot more. So we're on the cusp of such a very, very different time. And maybe it's those sorts of things that need to come in place before that full disclosure. I mean, it feels like we are on such a path for it now, but I would not be surprised, and maybe I'd feel it'd be slightly more sensible if they just, you know, just got NASA to go, yeah, look, lads, there really is life on Mars. Just update what we were saying earlier, update their findings to what we already know from the 70s there, and then lock in those distant planets, you know, yeah, there is life on those distant planets, because then it's less of a gap for the mainstream, isn't it, there? You know, they go, all right, well, there's life on other planets in our solar system, there's life on distant planets, so it's not just our solar system. Then the next step is intelligent life. It's less of one to do there. Sure. Thank you there, man. And Tommy, you've come over to the YouTube there whilst your TikTok is busy with the likes there. Now that is the pro move there, Tommy. You have to get us up on the big screen on the projector. And where did we get to? Over here. How many people have had a spirit encounter? Oh, Frenchie, good question. There is a good overlap. There is a good overlap of people that are interested in this and the wider spooky stuff. It's not 100%. There are definitely some people that are just like, nope, aliens for me only. And that's fine. But funnily enough, I'd had some spooky encounters in my life, but I hadn't had an alien one. That was part of doing this sort of streams, was to have these encounters, or raise the odds, so to speak. Having a chance of having these encounters. But yeah, now we're doing this. We have seen some more on the UFO side of things. We did do one paranormal stream. I think Mayor, actually, we're coming up to the year, aren't we, for that? Was it the end of June? I think the stream is around about a year old. I think it's going to be like in a week's time or something. We're hitting the proper year of doing these there. You've had a lot there, both spirit and unexplained objects. Very interesting. And look, you've got to be open to these things in the sense that our brains, we filter the information that's coming in through our levels of understanding. So if you don't think aliens are real, when you see that strange light in the sky, or not for real, but if you don't think there's aliens or UFOs or a possibility, you're going to unconsciously see a light in the sky and go, oh, it's probably a satellite. You're going to write all these things off. That bump in the night, you're going to go, it's the pipes. That shadow, it's just a shadow. People will just default to those positions if they do not have a knowledge structure for how those other things could be real there. So it makes a lot more sense. It's like when people talk about the hitchhiker effect. I don't so much think that something is literally following you. I think that you've just had an experience that therefore you now see more of those things. Like if you ever noticed, I think you probably heard this one before, but when you buy a red car, you'll notice that everybody's got a red car as well. It's that sort of thing. There was always that many red cars on the road, but we're just now more aware of those things and those encounters. I think it could be a big part of what could be that playing it there. Definitely so, Frenchie. I've become more spiritual since I'm looking into the UFOs there. There's a connection there. And we need to understand consciousness much, much more. Definitely. I mean, guys, that's Tommy. Sorry, words going there. I came in as very nuts and bolts. This, very, Roswell, Area 51, Little Green Men, metal spaceships, all that sort of stuff. And that is, to be honest, my heart still lies. But like of all this stuff, you look into it, and there's a really good case for all of this stuff to be made. And it's not as if there's no area for this in science. And I have seen scientists literally come up, and we talk about this sort of stuff, and they go, anti-gravity. They go, we know everything about gravity. There's no missing question mark area of where this anti-gravity could live. But then you actually look into gravity, and you go, they know fuck all about gravity, and they admit they don't even know if it's a fundamental force. They don't know why it's so weak. So you think, are you just outright lying? Or is this an indication of what you actually believe? That, this is the problem. That there is actually a lot of space within established science. There are all of these untouched areas, or not untouched, but the areas they go, we don't know a lot about there. There, where all of the answers to this sort of shit could live, let alone you're touching into the quantum world and stuff like that. There is definitely, room for all of this sorts of stuff there. And Leopard there, thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight? So yeah, lots of I've been with the stream a year in 2 weeks there. So, and I think that was probably only like a week or two after that. So yeah, it must have been a week, I think, actually. Yeah. So I reckon our anniversary is going to be next week. We have to do something for the weekend, don't we? I'll have to do a special birthday stream. Figure out what that's going to be. Alan, got any ideas? I also have a few paranormal stories there, but funnily enough, I've never considered myself a believer in the topics you discussed there. Just interested and open-minded, and I offer no explanations, just experiences. And I think that's a very healthy way to be. And look, I won't say I 100% believe much with this. So, and I think all of this is a spectrum, isn't it? Like, the more evidence that goes towards something, then the more you can believe in it. So, for me, are aliens out there? I think 100%. I'm going to stand side with mainstream science there, but it is a belief. I don't know for a fact, but it's a belief that, look, it seems logical to me that all those planets now there's going to be life and all of the other sort of stuff there. Now, are they visiting Earth? Now, I'm less on that, but I'm still quite high. I'm in the 90s with that one. I think there's a lot of evidence that there's something going on. But there is a world where maybe it's weird weather stuff, or maybe it's not technically the extraterrestrial side of things. Maybe there's that future shit going on, or dimensional, or maybe it's a new life form. There's some interesting angles there. So I wouldn't say 100%, but I do think there's... Oh, it's a coat hanger. I do think there's something going on like that. But then when we get down to like specific stories, do we believe X person's account here or there? I get less and less confident. Not to say that I'm not very, very interested by individual accounts there, but I kind of, for me to say 100%, I need to have hands-on with the evidence or something like that, you know? So I'm a bit skeptical, but this I think is good. I think we need all sorts of people coming in, people that have had specific experiences. They've had that hands-on for themselves within all the different areas there that could say, look, you may not have experienced it, but I have, and this is what it's like. And I think until I experience it, I'm still going to be the low, but it's very interesting to hear it. I describe it that I'm painting 1,000 portraits at the minute, and every time we go, oh, right, we're talking about the psionics and the consciousness connection. Go over to that portrait. I've heard something new, right? I'm going to paint over that bit. I'm going to add this bit. Oh, we're talking about crash retrieval, right? Over to this one here. Right, I'm going to add this bit to this portrait, and at some point, I'm going to step back and I'm going to go, right, these are the ones I want to hang on my walls. These are the ones that make the most sense to me. But until then, it's open season, lads. It's a kid in a candy shop. I want to hear it all. I want to bathe in all of the experiences there. It's definitely there, and I reckon they have visited Earth for thousands of years. Well, that again, there is so much evidence that points that way. So much stuff. We go back to cave paintings. It's the earliest records we have there. But all the folklore, the religious stuff there, you take away the human interpretation, again, because we're always filtering it through what we understand, angels and demons, fairy and fae. You take all that away and go, well, what did they literally see? Lights in the skies, strange movements, beings from elsewhere, normally quite small, taking people away, missing time. Even radiation poisoning is quite a common trait if you look for all the stuff. So what does that leave us with? It leaves us with the same phenomenon that we're experiencing now. Now, modern day, we interpret that as ET, little green men, spaceships from other planets. But it's funny, isn't it, that that's how we interpreted the phenomena in the late 40s when we were gearing up to start launching men into space, going to other planets, hopefully, in metal spaceships. And that is how we viewed the world. Whereas back, more connected to nature, it was that folklore and the fae. Again, those more religious times there, it was angels and demons. So is any one of those explanations more accurate than the other? Maybe. Not necessarily our one's the winner one. Or is it that there's a little bit of truth to all of it? And I've experienced the other side personally, and I've seen and felt love and peace there. I love that, Carl, as well. So that is the thing. When you've had those personal experiences, whether it's like in that sort of side, like, I get why people are like incredibly confident on this sort of stuff. When the experiences that I've had, and I go, right, there's something going on here. You've seen it for yourself. It's how do we get that across to other people? How do we kind of open that up? I think they move through wormholes. Definitely possible. Wormholes do not break physics. Same as warp drives there. Oh, good evening, Ben. Are you got to be off? Oh, no, it's Brad that we're talking about. How are you doing, Ben? Good to see you. And thank you for the hearts. Getting confused for myself there. But yeah, it's... the world, the universe is going to be far more interesting than we have ever sort of before there. We've been gaming, no worries, but we've not been on. We've still got technical issues. I'm having to limp all this through my laptop. So it's not going to be quite the full service, but hopefully we'll get that one back soon. Hopefully in time for our anniversary. So we're nearly on the year. Oh, you're off now there, Harko? No worries. 10-hour drive. Whew. Oh, well, good luck with that, and be thinking of you there. What's the time now? Oh, it's nearly our time to come off anyway ourselves. So make sure you're following, guys, or subscribed, whatever is wherever you are, so you'll catch us again tomorrow night there. Clear skies, it's the UAP Skywatch cloudy nights. We're doing this, the live alien radio signal hunt there. When do you get the PC back, Ben? So we're getting it back to test, hopefully on Monday. But the problem is with this guy, he sounds to be like really good at his job, but he kind of just expects you to be on the other end of the phone and able to come and do it. He's like, you can come pick it up now, but you've got to be here in 10 minutes. I'm like, whoa. Oh, he's like, call me later and I'll see if I'm in. Okay, I couldn't yet. Yeah, but I'm only here for 10 minutes, man. So if I can arrange something, we get that. But apparently I'm going to test it, make sure it's stable, and then he will then we should be able to get it back properly. So hopefully at some point we'll figure out yo-yoing it this week. And hopefully that means we don't have to actually just return the whole damn thing. Pain in the ass that has been. I'm glad that we can get back on now on both channels. That has worked, so that we can at least limp through, even if it's not perfect. You stood on the other side and seen souls passing into the light. Ah, Carl, what I would give to be able to see your experience, like to see with you through your eyes of that, and just like experience, because I don't actually want to experience that directly myself. I think that would be rather scary, much like the alien stuff. But yeah, like to actually kind of, I'm endlessly fascinated. I want to know how things work. I don't particularly care why. I just want to know how. Like the kid that always used to take things apart, you know, and I'm the same with processes as well, or how the universe works. I just want to know. I just want to see how it works. There. Sounds like it very much is, Ben. The issues I was having with that computer, right? At every turn, it was a 1 in a million problem that only our computer ever had. I bought 3 separate memory devices. We replaced the hard drive. No. Replaced. Had to get an external drive to try and copy the hard drive. No. Got a USB stick to reinstall Windows. No. Every step of the way, that bloody thing has fought me. I'm only calming down about it just now. I was just steaming last week, just seething. I put my experience into the person. Oh, Carl, thank you. Appreciate that. That'd be quite cool to read through there. God, what experiences there. Amber to the sea, how are you doing? Bedtime as you as well there, Mal. Thank you for joining us as always. Appreciate that. We'll catch you later there. And Syntaxor, it seems anti-gravity could be possible. Everything in nature has a positive and a negative. So if you can create negative mass or energy, you have anti-gravity. This is the thing, why would we think otherwise with that sort of stuff? Now, they haven't, kind of decided what sort of force that it is within nature. I think that's where the difficulty lies. But why would you assume not by default? Like, that is what gets me. Like, the confidence they have in it there. I found a stream a year ago, July there. A wise man, really there, on a holiday in Mallorca. And the skies were very, very clear. Almost every night. Oh, we did have a good heat wave, didn't we? Was it really that long ago, wise man? Oh, because you're on, aren't you, on the TikToks there as well. It took me a second to remember from last night. So, God, yes, that wouldn't have been long into it at all. Wouldn't have been long into it. I'm probably barely doing the SETI stuff. Yeah, we had a good long run last time. I got it was bloody hot, wasn't it? Still not learnt and got the things there. What's that? Oh, TikTok's throwing notifications at me. Go away. Detected inactivity. Have you now, TikTok? Bollocks to you. Detected inactivity, my ass. To complete a little puzzle that I'm human. There. X, how are you doing? Thank you. Good to see you in. How the devil are you? And has anyone taken a picture in the sky they can't explain? So Frenchie, for our UFO sky watching, we've seen some strange movement, things that can't be satellites and things like that. But on our Discord, in the personal experience section, there are some very interesting pictures. There's one very recently, and I don't even know what. It doesn't even look like a UFO, but it doesn't look like anything else either. It's very, very strange there. Oscar there, how you doing there? Don't you notice that there's been a while? Yeah, it has been. How have you been, Oscar? We've been off ourselves. We've had massive computer issues. What's... Go away, TikTok. What do you mean? Keeps coming out of things, being a dick. Yeah, we had computer issues there, so we're limping through on the laptop at the minute, but it's been a week there. In and out there. I didn't see you earlier, no. You must have been in disguise there, Agent X. We've only been on TikTok, haven't we, back today? No Alan activity you made yet. Alan getting up to this, why the computer broke in the first place. Things have really turned to the... Oh, shoulders instead. Oh, God, Oscar, that is really awful. How long until the America trip? That is not good now. I'll probably forget I've been tomorrow there, Rich. Though. We'll have to celebrate. You need like the the how many years service badges. 4 years long service, 1 year's long service. That can go away. There we go. Duct tape works. Can you imagine aliens having to prove that they are aliens on the stream? Press the boxes. Yeah. Yeah, prove that you're an alien. Oh, for God's sake. And they've got like their probe. They've got to line up the pictures. They've got to line the probe up with the arse. That's how they prove that they're an alien, as their check there. And I've got a picture I took of the sunset from my bedroom window there, zoomed in and saw a round ball, 3 round ball. I'm glad you said 3 there, Frenchie, and 1 on its own. Hey, if you've got Discord, bung it on our personal experience section. Would love to see that one there. Oh, I'll check it out there, Oscar. There, oh, bad man. I really do hope it turns around for you, because that is just horrible. But hopefully, yeah, you get be off to the US to get that sorted. Aliens, the least your worries. Last message I saw for you, yeah. It's a dark world there. It's a dark, dark world. To be honest, this is where I come to ignore the world and all of the dark, dark things there. Do you remember that kid's book? In the dark, dark woods, there's a dark, dark house. In the dark, dark house, there's a dark, dark corridor. Down the dark, dark corridor, there's a dark, dark room or something like that. I love that as a book. I loved that as a book as a kid. So Frenchie, I can't at the minute when we're doing this, but it should be, if you click on our main TikTok bio, there's a link tree. It should be in there, and just press that and it should bring you in. There, trapdoor. Oh, yes, Burke. Food, mate. Trapdoor's a classic. I've been monitoring a stream with 10k views in 220 countries a minute now. That is a lot to kind of get through. Now, thank you for joining over there as well, Frenchie. And Nat, thank you for the share. Appreciate that, guys. It's all the shares and likes that helps us reach more and more like-minded people there, like yourselves. And the more eyes and minds we get on the old phenomena, the better. So the more we can all piece this puzzle together there. But yeah, it's midnight. I know it's the weekend, but I'm going to come off for now. But we'll be back on tomorrow night, guys. Thank you very much for joining. So much for joining us again. Good to see you as always there. Oh, you're going to go now as Oscar as well there. You're going to check. I will have a look there, yeah. And we'll catch you later. I hope you feel better. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for hanging out, sharing your awesome stories and your knowledge there, having a good old chat, helping us understand it all a bit more there. But yeah, we will catch you all tomorrow night, so make sure you're following and subscribed if you're not already there. You never know, maybe we'll get lucky with a Skywatch there. But if not, probably Monday for the Skywatch, another signal hunt tomorrow. But yeah, catch you later, guys. But I'm not